Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first annual Spray and Pray 1000 streamed podcast. I am your host, Spray and Pray 1000.
We're live?
Yes. Sergio,
What?
this was the
This
stream.
Is new.
Sergio, this was the stream that you were like, this is scheduled 3 days ahead of time.
People from the future?
What?
Hello? Are people from... What?
What's wrong with you, Sergio? Who touched you?
Where
did
am I?
Jeff Kaplan nerf you?
Where am I?
Show me on the
Where did
doll.
Jeff Kaplan
Show me on the
nerf?
diva doll where he nerfed you.
But hello, ladies and gentlemen.
I am Spray and Pray 1000, and I'm joined today by my two co-hosts, Mr. Instant Retreat.
Hey guys, coming back again.
And Mr.
That's a lot.
Searcher One.
Yo.
And today we're going to have kind of a double episode crammed together because I wanted to have one final ring out for the good old new year because that's just how I roll. I usually do not stream these, but I say, you know what? We'll do something a little special. We'll mix it up a bit because variety is the spice of life. And really we don't have too many topics to talk about today because, well, nothing really happens at the end of the year. That's kind of the whole point. It's the gimmick. It's the end of the year. People are kind of prepping for the new year. Where they can make fresh, brand new mistakes and fuck-ups constantly throughout video gaming. So, with that in mind, we might as well start with Podcast 104, so that way Mr. Instinct can literally sleep through the Final Fantasy segment.
And he says he'll be on in 5.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Just tell him to move to whatever lobby, I'll pull him.
Okay.
Sony, our good friends at Sony, the connoisseurs of weeaboo and niche JRPG titles, are not going to show up at E3 2019. And this is actually, I believe, the first time since they've shown up at E3 that they are opting not to show up at E3. I think that they were at the first E3 with the PlayStation. I know it was some E3 early on that they kind of showed up and they were just there from there on. They're kind of the staple. You always know they're going to be there. This is the first time, I mean, besides Nintendo hosting an E3 theme direct, this is the first time that Sony is just flat out, or any major part of E3 is just flat out going to drop. They're just not going to show up.
I think Sony is actually going to have, they're going to do what Nintendo does. They're just going to have their own separate event. Because I can't see, because Microsoft is pretty much is geared to launch the Xbox One or Xbox 2 holiday season of next year. That's what all the rumors say, and I believe them. And I can't see Sony not having something for them to completely bow out of E3 of next year. That's not gonna look. That's a really bad look.
You think they're saving up their load, or they're just not? They have nothing.
No, I think they have something. They're just not going to E3 to show it. I think they're going to try to show it early. There's going to be a private event sometime in the spring where they're like, so yeah, here's the PS5.
I can't wait for it to not be named the PS5 and be named something really stupid. Yeah, like the PlayStation Experience or something like that.
PlayStation 1, dude.
Oh my fucking god! I mean, see, Xbox can get away with
from
it.
From the TGS thing with the controllers that were spaceships and shit.
Oh my god, they had nothing. That was something. But yeah, this is the first time usually you have staples like EA, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Microsoft, Nintendo does their little direct thing or whatever. I mean, if E3 goes the way of the direct, you know, where people just sort of have pre-recorded streams, I mean, it sort of takes out a personal element. I mean, Sony might return for 2020, but to have just flat out basically no major presence, and especially no conferences, is kind of unique. Because apparently there's rumors of the PS5, you know, and then just the 8th, or what would it be, the 9th gen? Because we're on original at this point. Mr. Double Prime, welcome to the podcast, sir.
Hello.
Because let's face it, I mean, at least this is my opinion, 8th gen was kind of cool. I don't think we advanced as much in the 8th gen. I think we kind of just perfected marketing strategies and cheap ways to get money out of people. I feel like with loot boxes and all the unfinished games, and here's the game that will be finished at some unknown later date, and here's the game that got canceled, and here's this, and here's that. And now we're just kind of ending this console generation with a whimper, which is kind of unlike the 7th, where we had a lot of good games even up to the end and beyond. you know, even into the 8th console generation, like Assassin's Creed Rogue. But yeah, Mr. Double Prime, you got any thoughts on Sony skipping E3 2019?
E3 is going to be killed off in favor of everyone doing their own thing. They'll probably pick around the same time frame because that's what general people expect it. But it just what everyone leaving shows, because Nintendo's left a long time ago. What everyone leaving shows is that E3 was just about. It was just a big ass ad. There was no celebration about it anymore.
It's all commercial. And top of that, why go to a show where you risk getting one-upped by your competitors and all you're doing is bringing in press? Because if you're flying people out for E3 and it turns out that the other console has a better market and they are a better product, and then those who you flew out start, you know, shilling that, like, it's wasted money. Why just host your own event, get your own people, and control everything about it?
Have your own Bethesda land.
You if it's on your own venue.
We're never seeing Bethesda land again, are we?
I don't think Bethesda should have shown up at E3 if they had no new games.
Years. Well, they did have something last year, just none of it was any good that came out.
Who's that indie studio that's making Metal Wolf Chaos? They had a better
Devolver Digital, yeah.
Yes, they had a like.
Well, they're more. I wouldn't call Devolver indie anymore. They're kind of they kind of control themselves in every regard.
I mean, people still take E3 seriously. I mean, they rolled out ball pits and fanny packs.
Oh yeah, they take E3 seriously. I just think that studio's right. Might as well make a better show, like for yourself, where no nothing.
Like, what year do you think it'll be phased out, Andy, specifically? 2022? 25?
I'm going to say 20.
You're going to say Perfect Vision the year?
Because 19 already... Nintendo already is left. Sony's walking out. Bethesda doesn't look like they even want to be there. They just kind of feel obligated. Yeah. Xbox, at that point, it'll just be an Xbox show, and maybe Squeenix will be there, but, like, Microsoft, the fact that Microsoft, they threw, who the fuck knows how much money at their gaming division. Why not just have their own show alongside of that? They have, how many studios now? They could have a whole show
13,
with,
like, yeah.
They could have a whole show as long as E3 with all their new studios doing shit.
I think they would have too much time, honestly. I mean, not to say they don't have enough stuff. I just mean, like, if you could fill up a 3-day press event with just nonstop your shit, you are pretty much flexing on everyone else in existence.
And especially if you can just schedule, like, way ahead, so that way you have an entire week of just free press solely for your console. Like, it actually makes sense, as opposed to having 2 days where all the news has to go out at once, so your stuff may be overlooked. If you book this stuff, like, a week, maybe even a month in advance, that's just free press. That's free publicity. People just speculating solely on your console until the next thing is announced.
I mean,
and hell, if you get out there first, then that's exclusive.
It's exclusive for 30 minutes until Microsoft drops their stream, and then it's not exclusive anymore. That would be hilarious if they're just each waiting to see who drops it early, and they just drop it in theirs in response. That would be just, like, literally Stream Wars. It'll be hilarious.
Stream Wars.
Because like, they're all going to be like, okay, we'll drop it on this day, whatever. Because there's not going to be any scheduled times, because it's just a stream on the internet. So, you don't have to plan your streams. There's no, like, honor accord where Microsoft drew straws and they go first and then Sony has to wait. No, they're just, if Microsoft is like, well, fuck Sony, we're dropping it a day early to get literally the rumor mill and everything rolling early, then they'll just drop it fucking early. And then Sony will either have to drop it in response. I mean, it's basically WMDs. You have to drop it in response. You literally have no option because, if Microsoft does it a week early, well, that's a week for everyone to run out, throw their money around willy-nilly and whatever, as opposed to, like, a day where it's like, okay, well, I'll just wait till tomorrow and see what Sony does. And with the Year of the Samurai coming up, I'm really kind of wondering, like, because they got all these games coming out for Sony with, like, Ghosts, Neo 2, why can I never remember this? Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima.
Sony exclusive?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Sekiro. Sekiro's the one
that's not. FromSoft, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're both. They're both exclusive, right?
No, Sekiro Twice is multi-plat.
Oh yeah, Sekiro. It's multi-plat. But
it's on Steam already.
Is Sekiro from or is that?
Yeah, no, it is. It is from Software. Yeah, you're right. March 22nd. So I mean, Sekiro comes out before, but I could see E3 getting phased out. I mean, I watched the original E3. I actually commentated over it because that was something I was considering, but it really is just kind of a. It is the definition of a business meeting. There's no showiness, which is cool because you don't get weird stuff like Ubisoft's mandatory dance number and like people
or
in
Microsoft
weird
dropping
suits.
down a car.
Yeah, or Microsoft dropping a $500,000 car.
Oh, that dude.
But on the flip side, it is the definition of boring. It's a bad recording, but credit to the fact that someone actually had the foresight to, record it. Because it would be just lost to history. Oh, some dude came up and believe it or not, I had Sega. Because, so I don't know if I said this before. Sega's ingenious battle plan was to quite literally have you buy all the shit for the Genesis and then buy the Saturn as well. Which back then is roughly like a couple $100 to almost $1,000.
No, that was like $1,000.
Yeah, it is. It was not
the SNES, I
cheap
think,
play.
was worth $500 in today's money. Like,
yeah, no, they wanted you to bust your balls to buy Sega shit. They're like, oh, we have the Sega 32X, the Sega CD. Where we're confident everyone will keep buying that, and then we're confident they'll all buy the Saturn. And no, none of that happened. And it's awful to watch them because they go so hard in that little press conference.
Yeah,
they went so hard.
I think I posted on something a while back. They're like, instead just Nintendo or something for an old ad.
Genesis,
like,
what Nintendo, yeah.
Yeah,
and they go so hard in that little press conference to kind of one-up Nintendo. And it's so awful because you know this guy really believes in it. He might be a businessman, but you know he believes in it. And just a year later, that shit would go belly up, dude.
Yeah.
It just goes belly up. It's so tragic. And Sony just shows up with the worst looking fucking games. But you know what? Look where they are now, right? It's the only thing that kind of it's a major pillar of their fucking company. So, I mean, you know what? The future is really a scary thing, to be truthful. Because Sega is now Yakuza and Sonic. And, I mean,
Yakuza and Sonic.
Sega has...
hold on a second. Sega also has Atlas.
Neptunia?
So...
Oh, I don't count that. That's cheating.
It's not.
Didn't Persona 5 not sell well enough anyway?
No. It sold
decently, but it didn't sell
very well.
It sold very well.
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I heard it right when it came out. I forget.
It didn't sell as much as they wanted to because the game was kind of in the Final Fantasy 15. No, they wanted to sell more because it was kind of in the Final Fantasy 15.
This is why it didn't sell as much. It's an invalid state. It didn't sell as much as we wanted. Why? Because other people still have money.
No, it didn't sell as much as they wanted because they needed to recoup more costs because that game was in development hell since the PS3 days.
It kind of... That's
they
one of those
wanted it to
games
sell
that
more. Yeah.
Like, one of mistakes.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, that's better for Sony, but not better for Sega. But saying Sega has Atlas is kind of fucking cheating because it is definitely cheating. Hey, Sonic has something.
Hold on a second. That's like not saying it's cheating to say that Microsoft has 343. No, it's not.
But Sonic has legit sucked for years, and Yakuza's okay, I guess. And then it's like, but by the way, we have Atlas. I mean, sure, whatever. We basically bought our way to success. That's Activision's strategy. We killed off everything except COD, and then we just bought Blizzard, and now we just rake in.
And now they're killing off Blizzard.
Yeah, and we rake in the WoW money. Why not? Someone will always run WoW. No, someone will always.
Blizzard's like the surprise Pikachu face because apparently people at Blizzard are surprised that Activision is doing this. No, you dumbasses. You signed a deal with the devil.
Yeah, hello? It's like EA or Activision.
You thought it was going to be a partnership? You thought it was going to be a collaborative thing? No.
But between EA and Activision, I'd rather stick with Activision, especially if I work on COD, because I know I'm guaranteed a job. That is probably the best security for a job in pretty much almost anywhere in this industry.
But here's the thing, as Blizzard, because Blizzard's the type of studio that I think they really do value being independent. I don't think Blizzard works well if they're giving a directive.
Hold on, Blizzard's currently being gutted. Their independence is gone.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what he's saying. They're fucked.
Never sold out.
I
think Blizzard is the type of studio where they will continually make great games if you do not control them, if they're allowed to work at their own pace. I think the Activision merger was the dumbest thing they could have done.
Blame the shareholders for literally not letting
Jeff
us have
Kaplan, because
fun.
apparently he's the VP, so...
Oh, well, listen, dude, you like Overwatch, okay? I don't like that Pixar shooter anymore. I'll play it next month, don't worry. But, yeah, I could see E3 getting phased out. I mean, I like it, it's a cool thing. But, I mean, at this point, especially, like, when you factor in that most of the games that they show at it are kind of forgettable or whatever. They come out, and that's it. Like, fucking Quiet Man, where you didn't even know... Half the people I know didn't even know it came out.
Quiet Man, the quiet release.
Yeah, it's like... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope it doesn't go, but maybe they'll come back in 2020, and maybe, who knows. It's just...
to this year is honestly pretty awful.
It's pretty depressing, because there's nothing really happy outside of, like, Sekiro and 2 games in January. It's like, well, that fucking sucks. But, From Software has 2 unannounced games. Not, I mean, before we literally had this last year where it was, what is the stupid thing called? Deracine? Deracine? Whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know its name.
Yeah.
And Sekiro were the unannounced games, but now they have apparently 2 more unannounced games. So I don't know. What do you think?
We haven't even seen how well Sekiro's done.
Bloodborne
it looks
2?
like a really good game, but they're...
Well, them having unannounced games in the work could mean they're in the planning stages.
They renewed they put in a bid for a license for Bloodborne.
Oh, what if Microsoft got them to work on Scalebound and just renamed it?
But I mean, I know they're quality people, so I mean, I'm just saying they haven't even freaking like released the first one yet. Like, I think they probably should. I mean, obviously they have to start production on another game, but I feel like they should like kind of see the consensus, because I don't know. I feel like people are kind of getting tired of the Souls style games every time. I mean, Sekiro is trying to like put a new spin on it, but I think that maybe they need to start gravitating from guys. But that's just my opinion. I think like you're gonna kill it by releasing too many Souls-like games.
You don't want a Souls game every year, like an Assassin's Creed every year, like a COD every year.
It kind of became like, it went from a niche franchise to be like a household franchise. You don't play Dark Souls, well, here's Dark Souls. Here's Dark Souls 1.
You're a casual.
Dark Souls 3,
honestly, I blame / attribute that to YouTube and shit, because people really bought the fuck out of that. Wow, this game will kick my ass. And any other timeline, you tell someone 20 years ago, this game is gonna fuck you up, and not just like normal Mario shit. They'll be like, that game fucking sucks. And here we are. Oh, this game is gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love it. It's amazing.
It was kind of like a perfect storm scenario. I think it was because it was at a time when games were kind of like mindless. Yeah, in terms of difficulty. So like they came at kind of like a perfect storm time period where games had stopped being hard for a very long time, and they had just been like where everything was waypointed. You needed to go here, there's a waypoint, there's the objective markers telling you everything you need to do, and then here comes along this game that's freaking hard as shit.
And doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah. And then it's really enjoyable to watch people getting killed over and over again and complaining and whatever, so they kind of found its own niche in that regard.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how many corridor shooters and corridor beat-em-ups came out in the last generation. It was quite something to see them literally make dozens of them at a time and plug and chug them, and Activision's pretty guilty of that. But, yeah, they're working on 2 new games, neither of which are Bloodborne 2. There was an Easter egg in Deracine which hinted at Bloodborne. It was a Bloodborne Easter egg, but that's just because it's a PlayStation game and they just like Bloodborne, so there's no clue what they're gonna play. But they're working on like four games at some point. It's and 2 of them we know about and 2 we don't. So I'm sure next year.
I'm pretty sure they just renewed or they just put in a bid for Bloodborne 2 license.
Yeah, they might make it someday, but it doesn't seem like that's in the next.
Yeah, that's not.
Future.
Yeah, it's not on that.
I mean, besides that, because that's really all I have for E3. Our good friends at Capcom have decided to put ads into Street Fighter V.
Delete Capcom.
Not just that, but
you can't avoid them.
They reduce the amount of, I think,
you can.
that you get per
You get less fight money for not having them on.
No, but
isn't it in general? I thought it was in general that they lowered it.
Well, I don't know about the regular economy. It was just it already took forever to get anything because you would get like from a ranked win, no matter what your rank was, would give you like I don't know, maybe like 100 fight money. You need like 100,000 to get anything without paying more money. The economy is horrific. It's
I thought the pros could not avoid them, like in the actual like professional.
Oh, and I don't know about how it's dealing in the actual.
I'm pretty sure that was the complaint in the pro matches. You can't avoid them, can't turn them off.
Well, guess who's not going to Evo?
Listen, I don't. You don't want to. Come on, man. I mean, like, look, this is the future of video gaming. Okay, you got to get it through your thick skulls.
Placement is everything.
Even it's been, and you want to know what the best argument is? It's been here forever. You don't remember like FIFA like '92 or whatever the fuck?
FIFA, the sports games that's a sense of
it's a sense of realism.
So that's why no one gives a fuck because it's like, oh, it's more realistic.
And it's in the background too. It's not invasive like in a loading screen like. That isn't this a meme from like 5 years ago?
There's no actual characters in a fucking sports game. They're just people with uniforms on.
That kind of look like LeBron. I mean, it depends on what game you play. If you play soccer, I'm not gonna lie, they all kind of look the same from high up. I mean, it's just the names under their feet.
No, hold on.
Okay, listen. How many FIFA games have you played? Maybe the ones I played.
I'm talking about watching soccer. They all look different. What?
No, I'm talking about
the game.
The games are so realistic. They look like real life, dude. He jumped into FIFA's defense. Yeah. He was like, "I'll be the first line of defense, milady." Yeah, no, I mean, nowadays I'm sure they probably look different. Back when I used to play, which was over 10 years ago, they all kind of look the same. Even, like, I mean, well, Mario Strikers is kind of guilty because they filled the teams with generic characters, but that's besides the point.
What are you talking about? There was you, and then...
5 Toads, and maybe Mario.
Minions!
What? What minions?
No, they're all Toads.
No, in Mario Strike... Well, I'm thinking of the GameCube one. You pick your main guy.
That's the only one.
And then you can have Shy Guys, you can have Toads, you can have Skulls.
Dude, I did not like Strikers. I'm sorry. That shit put me to sleep. I played it for about an hour and I fucking...
Yeah, you're one of the first people I ever heard say...
I liked baseball. I loved
baseball was also good.
That shit was lit, dude. Oh, so much fun. So many good times. That was like GameCube perfect era. It was beautiful.
It was on the Wii too.
I didn't play the Wii one.
The Wii one's good.
I skipped all the Wii shit. Remember after Other M was like a nice shit in my face.
Other M was much after. Was way after.
Was it?
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty sure. I feel like the baseball game was way closer to release.
I skipped Wii from like 2008 to 2010.
I would have come out
the best years though. What?
What came out in those years? I played
Xenoblade, dude.
Oh fuck that. Did you even play Wait a minute, you fake ass. Hold on.
Wait, you said 2008 to 2010?
Yeah, I remember
playing... So you skipped Smash?
No, I played Brawl.
That was 09, wasn't it?
That was 08. That was 08. I quit, like, basically, like, a year and a half. I can't remember
to be fair, that Smash was kind
of Smash was also pretty shit, yeah.
Hold on. You know what? I'm not getting into this. Brawl isn't as bad as everyone says.
It really is, though.
That tripping mechanic.
The worst one, apparently. It's like has so much other things. Like, wow.
Yeah, it has good music and it has a story mode.
It's so flowy. The tripping mechanic, the character.
The online.
Like, wasn't it that you had to play Meta Knight, otherwise you just lost? Like,
Meta Knight was literally top of everything.
Not to mention the base controller for it is off. You have to get a freaking...
You have to either buy the Wii Classic or Wii Classic, but thankfully I was a GameCube boy, so I was like...
have a GameCube, yeah.
There's literally no other way to play.
Most people had GameCube controllers at that point.
Yeah, but still, the controller in itself is awful.
I'm glad that the Wii controllers don't work on the Switch.
1 and 2.
You know, we could have these really nice, complex Nintendo controllers, and instead we get waggle sticks, so... I guess that's fate. But, yeah, I skipped like a good 2 years, I'm not gonna lie. I played that Paper Mario game, which I never beat. I didn't really like it. I played Galaxy 1, I didn't really like it. I played Twilight Princess, and then I bought the GameCube version. And I thought that was better. I played Metroid Prime 3. I played
You
some.
didn't like the Waggle?
I fucking hated it. It's awful.
You didn't like Skyward Sword, dude?
Oh my god, no! That Skyward Sword was fucking. I don't like New Zelda as much as I like the old ones. But and then after that, I didn't play till Other M, and Other M was so fucking bad. I literally just did not play my Wii after that until Skyward Sword, pretty much. And Resident Evil 4. I played Resident Evil 4. That's pretty much it. But yeah, such fun. Moving on, I guess, because we didn't even talk about fucking Street Fighter and their fucking ads in their games. I mean, it's literally a fucking parody unto itself.
Capcom needs to stop. Just fucking stop. Get the fuck out of the game. Just get out of the industry. Get out. I'm tired of you. What the fuck do you provide anymore?
They're doing good stuff.
Resident Evil, dude.
Resident
what are you talking
Evil,
about?
yeah. Come on.
Someone's, fuck it. Sony, buy Resident Evil. Fuck that.
No.
Gut this fucking gut Capcom for all it's worth. Nintendo buys Mega Man.
Hold on a second. Sony is now an American studio, and I don't think you want an American studio touching Resident Evil. That it needs to stay Japanese horror.
I remember when Resident Evil tried to be American horror, and it was this weird, like, Japanese people, or Japanese writing and Japanese everything pretending to be American. So we had great dialogue.
Resident Evil 7, but Resident Evil 7,
well, that's a modern game. I'm talking like the OG, like 1996 created the genre type shit.
Yeah, I'm not willing to. I need to see another Resident Evil game by a Western that's more Western.
That's not bad.
Before I see Sony giving it to any of their other Sony studios.
Capcom has a bunch of IPs that they don't deserve to have anymore.
What? No, I don't agree with that.
I could half believe that.
No.
Phoenix Wright they do correctly.
No. In the sense that
Nintendo could buy Phoenix Wright and do it fine.
I don't think it's fair for you to say like they don't deserve to have this.
No, they
franchise.
They ruined Street Fighter. Okay,
they pretty much almost ruined Resident Evil.
I mean, in that case, just stop making the games. Just. That's actually that's funny.
You shouldn't control better. A Street Fighter character should be better in Tekken than it is in Street Fighter.
And Smash, dude. You can actually play Street Fighter too. Yo,
we're actually better in freaking Smash.
Fucking amazing. No, I mean they fucked up a lot of franchises. I'm not gonna pretend they fucked up Devil May Cry. Like just think of it now. They're just barely getting the redemption arc started. DMC was in the toilet for 5 years. It'll be 6 years, and then they'll finally release a good Devil May Cry. Resident Evil has been fucked up for, depending who you ask, over a decade to like 4 to 5 years. Street Fighter's been fucked up for a long time, and these are just the big franchises like Azura's Wrath. Remember that fucking catastrophe? Oh, hey, this is a cool beat-em-up game. It's like all Ninja Storm quick time and cutscenes. I remember that. There's a big list of shit. But, I mean, you gotta give Capcom some credit. At least they're trying after they almost went out of business. Like, it could be worse. They could just not give a shit and just ruin everything you like. I don't see what the problem is, though. I mean, like, it's ads in a game. I mean, you know, listen. At some point... we all knew the parody, the shit post was going to come to reality.
You know, honestly,
you knew it.
The worse the industry gets, the less bad I feel about not having time to participate.
Yeah,
I don't blame you, dude.
That's 100% agreeable.
Less time wasted playing bad games and just justifying.
Literally, there's a Steam group called "Is It Game of the Year" or something like that, where it literally says if the game isn't the fucking best, don't waste your goddamn time. Yeah. And they have like 3 recommendations. They review almost every game. They have like 10 recommendations, and that's it. Like everything else, not the best game ever. Fuck it, don't buy it.
Yeah, I could 100% agree with that.
Ridiculous.
I mean that I don't know what else people expect. Let's be fair here. Like, it is what it is, you know.
On a game where like. Street Fighter, it was bad on release. They never really fixed it. They like, the economy was just in the toilet. When they announced their first retarded DLC of the $20 stage, people were going, "What?" We were memeing it because it's like so crazy. For a Street Fighter stage, you're paying $20.
But you want to know what's the good part, though? And this might be a niche reference, but at least Balrog gets his fight money now. No one knows that reference? Okay.
No. Alright, dude.
I was hoping Andy would, because it's a Street Fighter reference.
I just fight the game.
I just fight the game.
I fight the game.
I don't fight in the game, I fight the game.
No, I fight the game itself.
Sounds like a plan.
No, but legit, I just played it. I don't know anything. I just play it. I stopped playing 5 really fast.
I was interested in 5, and then once I saw the, like, immediate kickback, I was like, well, not interested.
Yeah, time to freaking dodge that.
Time to save my money. Thanks, Capcom. You made it real
I was
easy.
playing 4, and, like, I was playing 4 kind of seriously. And then 5 came out, because, like, oh, new game, alright, let's play it. And then, no, can't play it. It's bad.
You had my same reaction to Counter-Strike Go when I went from Source. I was like, oh, it couldn't be too bad, right? They only fucked over Source. What could happen? Within about 2 weeks, I was like, yeah.
You don't like
that was the
Battle Royale?
last time.
You don't like Battle Royale, dude?
Street Fighter 5 was the last time I
wasn't
felt
Battle
for
Royale
the...
there.
He's joking.
I know, but, you know.
Street Fighter 5 was the last time I fell for the trick of, you can earn everything in-game.
Yeah.
It's player choice.
Just
Fuck
play
off.
for 800 hours. Like,
Play for
Hey, dude.
Or shill over some money.
Just, hand us,
Yeah,
a couple 100,000 yen, and you get the game, dude. What's that? You spend $60. You spend
Down to like what? 4 fighters pass at this fucking
spend
point.
$60 in the game, dude.
Not enough. Not enough.
Another $40. Make that 100, dude.
No thanks.
Easy money, dude.
It's called inflation, dude. Where's the money?
Where's the money,
fucking
Levast?
where'd the fucking money, shithead?
Dude, games are gotten to the point where it's like, no, you paid $60. Well, how
Well,
about
that's
you
just
pay
to get
it
your
again?
foot in the door.
That's for the beta,
How about-
dude. That's for
No,
the
but
early-
I'm saying, how about you pay it again? Hey, pay it again, dude. $120 now.
If you like the game so much, why don't you just buy it again, dude?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like Destiny had so much DLC, and you guys have
Not even a complete game on launch. 4 planets. You played half the game in the beta. I wish I could go back in
Once the DLC
time.
comes out, I guess you can't play the game anymore.
Wow, oh wow, you really want to play this game that you like so much? Like, it's like, why even like these fucking games anymore? At least the Division had enough missions to keep me interested. Like, at least it was a full-on game.
And the Division made the best fucking survival battle royale thing to come
Yeah,
out.
pretty much. It all it needs was more usage of the map and more people, and that it would be lit. That's the only thing it needs. And the worst part is, unless they just literally rip that mode and put it back in, it's not coming back probably.
Yeah,
and
it's not coming back.
That's a shame because this game takes place in summer. What? Oh, you need to take off clothes to get cooler. What? It wouldn't. It would be weird.
To be fair, it's an outside game mode. They could easily
just put snow in fucking Washington. I guess whatever. But I like the New York map. I'm real salty that we're not. It's not New York no more. And I'm not. Of course,
remember they had plans where you would be able to go to Brooklyn and all the other boroughs of New York.
Yeah, it was going to be further downtown. They moved
They
it
gutted
further
that.
downtown.
shit canned.
Console, probably,
Yeah.
honestly.
No, it wasn't console. It was because of the fact that Division 1 kind of fell off in terms of its following. So people were like, well, we can just make a second game, or we could keep peddling this one. And they were like, well, let's just make a second game and do it better. So that's what they did. They did a survey saying, would you guys prefer more content in Division 1 or a second game? People were like, well, yeah, just make
I'll take a second game in the town of the first game.
it down.
Like
No, the reason why they won't do that is because it's the issue with the Wii U. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference because consumers are retarded.
What? Division isn't on the Wii U.
No, I'm
No,
saying
it's
the
saying
same
it would
issue.
be-
Oh,
You would
yeah,
not
yeah,
be
yeah.
able to tell the difference between Division
I
1
don't
and Division
fucking. Oh, come
They
on,
both look the
dude.
same.
Dude, put
No,
it.
yeah.
I'm just.
That's actually retarded.
I'm
That's
No,
just.
consumers are stupid.
Oh.
Consumers are really dumb.
That just hurts on some fundamental level where it's like, you know, fuck, I don't care.
I mean, hell, Destiny had the same issue. I remember people thinking that Destiny 2 was Destiny 1 because it's not really different. It's the same game.
I don't know. Start us in like the Bronx. I guarantee you it'll look different enough.
It
Nobody
says
will
2
notice.
on the cover, bro. Start in the Bronx.
It says
Yeah, but
2
no,
on
no,
the
but
cover.
in the promotional material and whatnot, it's gonna look the exact same. They're gonna be like,
Do you mean the
I
DLC
mean,
pack
giant
2
two,
or
though.
2? Yeah, I mean, listen, I
Wait,
went
are you
into
saying people won't understand that it's a sequel?
I believe him
people
though on
won't
some
understand
level.
that it's a brand new game. They will think that it's just an expansion to the first game.
I mean, it kind of.
Why would you think that's the case?
No, I mean people do.
confuse
People
Wii and
do.
Wii U.
Not only that, people.
But here's the difference.
Uh-oh.
The Wii U was marketed horrifically.
I mean,
it was terribly done. It was announced. It was not. The Wii got way more. The Wii got so much push. It became a home name.
Icon,
the Wii U didn't look like a big change from the Wii. So yeah, that makes sense. This is a video game. You're saying oh man, oh look at this shit. Red Dead Redemption 2. Is that DLC?
You will have a massive marketing budget, seeing the failures of the first game.
I mean, I mean, Andy, as weird as it sounds, people actually do fuck that up. I've seen numerous people.
Yes, there'll be
all
people,
say,
individuals are individuals.
I mean, but these people are
you
probably
say enough for it to matter.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, because it's primarily like the hardcore
people
players
don't know Fortnite's free.
I
really
want to appeal to the casuals, and the casuals may not get it immediately.
So you're saying that this idea of making a sequel, putting a 2 on the title of a game,
will confuse people.
It's
yes, people don't know that Fortnite's free.
If the game takes place in the same universe and looks exactly the same,
it looks exactly the same. Yes, so yes, it
casuals.
meets both of those criteria. Like, it hasn't been long enough since Division 1, right? Like, Division 1 is far away, but it's not like it's still in the rectum of general memory, which is a term I completely appropriated. But it's still there. Like, people still remember it when they talk about, especially when games like Destiny 2 are recent. Shooter looters haven't disappeared. It's like DMC 5 can come out and be a new game because there hasn't been a DMC since 2013. Then.
So you're saying, like, you just made an example. Let's stay even in the same genre. You're saying when Borderlands 2 came out, people were like, "Oh, this is more Borderlands 1."
I mean, what was that, like a 5-year jump? Division is only on like a 2-year jump.
It's been like 3. It comes out next year.
It will have been a 3. I mean, yeah, but you know,
it's
the average person is still kind of, they don't care. They just kind of show up. If
the average person can tell the difference between Madden 15 and Madden 16.
Well, that's because that's been Madden's gimmick the whole time.
Also, the average consumer generally doesn't really do it. There isn't. Also, the other issue is that Ubisoft said, "Hey, we're gonna add the entirety of New York." So now you get a second game.
They never said that.
It was hinted. It was hinted. They built towards it. They were building towards more. That it seems like they never.
You started in Brooklyn in the Division. So...
It was a tutorial. It's like 5 blocks. But what does seem fucked up is that you were supposed to go to Central Park, and that never happened. It seemed like they were building to it.
People got outside the map and they saw things were like panned and freaking rendered out there, and they were like, "Oh well, it's probably freaking Central Park is coming." And because all the new DLC updates pushed further and further uptown, they just thought that would be the.
Because like, there's doors that presumably lead into Central Park, just they never opened it ever, and that kind of was.
There are trees and dead bodies rendered out there, so people thought that.
Dead bodies. That's.
Yeah, Central Park is a dump.
Yeah, no, I get that now, but you wouldn't render that out because that's.
Oh no, I was talking in real life.
I mean, okay. All right.
But yeah, what they did is they used Central Park as a mass grave, and from story wise, and so people saw like the trash bags full of dead bodies piled in Central Park with trees, so they just assumed that because of all that shit was rendered, it would be DLC eventually.
I still don't know how people don't know.
And the expansion to the Dark Zone.
That was a real trip. I've literally seen so many posts online of people saying, "Where do I buy Fortnite?" I had it happen to me in real life. It's the craziest shit when you really think about it. It's
I believe consumers are that retarded.
Why do you think these companies spend so much money?
They just show up and they're like, "Hey, can I get?" Like, usually it's for their kid too, which is the other part.
Like, look at Battlefield, above and beyond the call, like.
That's just them being
Sometimes
dicks.
they intentionally
that's
want to
just not
confuse
fair.
people. Other times they want to make sure that it's completely distinct.
But yeah,
I
like
think
Malcolm
it's
said, they're
goofy to
buying
say
shit
that,
for
right?
their freaking family members. They don't know.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what the fuck he wants.
Yeah,
Like, that would be like if I were to buy like new sneakers for my brother or whatever. I'm like, I don't know the fucking. Oh, give me the
Air
LeBrons,
Jordan
dude. Yeah, give me the Air
versus-
LeBrons or whatever. The dude at the register is gonna be like, Air Jordan, sir, and I'll be like, yeah, those. Just replace Air Jordan with Fortnite. I don't know. Yeah, man, I want to buy Fortnite.
Speaking of Fortnite,
It's
China actually just recently, like within the past day, they recently approved the games that are allowed to be licensed in China.
Fortnite was
The
banned.
Fortnite was not a part of it. It was actually prohibited.
No, yeah, Fortnite's banned.
I will link.
There's a ton
link
of
the
games that were banned. Yeah, Fortnite.
Apparently, Ring of Elysium was also banned, and that's
Dude, no, every single Tencent game has been banned.
Yeah.
Wait, but isn't Tencent a Chinese?
Tencent is a Chinese
It's a
company.
Wait,
huge
I'm
part
really
of their
confused.
economy.
I linked the games. Like,
Wait, so are
actually
these
kind of
games
all
allowed or
banned.
not allowed?
it says
No,
on
they're
the
all
right,
banned.
corrective,
They're all banned.
corrective action, error, prohibitive / withdrawal.
Oh, okay,
They're
so
all banned.
corrective action means they did something to get it in. Okay.
Yes.
So prohibited is PUBG for blood and gore.
Every single-
Fortnite for blood and gore. Are you?
There isn't
kidding?
any-
I don't
blood
get
in
the
the
vulgar
game.
content, unless they're talking about the dances, because
Yeah, the
Fortnite
dances,
is a
dude. The
pretty-
Carlton.
Like, there's no blood in Fortnite.
I don't
there is.
know.
Where?
There's blood.
I
If
don't
you
know.
shoot someone with a sniper, there is blood.
Wow.
Oh, right.
Cartoon
No, yeah.
blood, dude.
No,
Well,
there is.
can't have
Because
that.
ARs and all the rest of them just show the numbers, and when you die, you get
You get
teleported
zipped out, yeah.
Yeah, you get teleported out.
I
Free
just don't
Fire
think the Chinese
Battleground?
government likes how big
Wait, are
Tencent's
you
getting.
sure snipers show blood?
I'm
pretty
99% sure they show blood.
There might be like an
Unless it might
effect.
be blood on your screen when you get shot.
There's no blood in Fortnite at all.
It might be an effect that looks like blood, but
There's
isn't
no.
just from the
I don't
bullet
even think
hitting
there's a.
you.
I don't even think there's a red like.
Yeah, no, not red, but like an effect, like a cartoon effect from the bullet hitting you. Maybe.
I think it's just like a PAL impact thing. That's it. I don't think there's anything past that. But again, none of us play Fortnite, so none of us would fucking know.
Yo,
Can we talk about the reason why League of Legends was banned at some point?
I'm reading Warcraft, but yes, go right ahead.
Look at the
Yeah, the last one, right?
rewards.
Oh, okay.
Rewards given based on rank. Can't have
Wow.
that in a communist society, dude.
All right. You can't have people do more work. Yo, that's literally how video games already are. No, get that shit out of here. You can't reward people based on how well they do, because then people like me soak it up, and people like the other dude's bitch.
So,
Yo,
honestly,
Battlefield
this
need
might
to
be
do
why
that.
Overwatch is so basic, dude. They don't want.
They're
players
already
'cause
prepping, dude.
They want to get China to like the
Yeah.
game, dude. So you can't give out rewards.
Can't
based
give
on
out
rank.
loot boxes based on
Can't
how
show-
well you do.
Can't show player performance. Can't give people extra SR for doing well, dude. Can't do that, dude.
So China
Yeah,
might be
no.
the one state where you want to have loot boxes, actually.
You have to
There's
still-
there's
you have to-
no blood in Fortnite.
Yeah, I don't know. Then they're fucking crazy. I figure
No,
like
they
maybe
no.
like if a sniper hits your shield, like
No,
it maybe makes a little effect or
You're
something.
thinking of this.
There is a red indicator though when you take damage from fall.
Ah, look at that. See, got to get rid of that.
It's probably honestly, it's probably that they just want to make their own knockoff, even though they own the rights to it.
No,
anyway.
China.
No,
just wants to get
Tencent is a Chinese company, and
I
most
know.
of their games got banned. What?
I don't
all of
know.
their games got
Who,
banned.
who knows,
Maybe they,
dude?
maybe Tencent-
Tencent owns Epic. Like I think 40% of it.
Well, they're just not congruent with the Chinese government. I don't know what else to say. Tencent
Dude,
clearly
I
is
don't
too
see
American.
why you would want to piss off
Tencent didn't pay
when they have a ton of freaking.
because they didn't pay. They didn't
Yeah,
pay.
but they have a ton of shit in your freaking like in your economy. They have
Yeah,
a
but,
huge influence there.
It's they could just take over Tencent
Could we
like tomorrow.
could we just really quickly like address?
They could literally
one
just
thing?
be like, "Oh, Tencent is now a state-run operation."
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
How
No,
about that?
not really, because they have other bases outside of China.
That would be a very
They don't-
weird
they don't-
scenario.
I mean,
They would just become an enemy of the.
They would
rest
just
of the
become
freaking
either
country.
defunct
Yeah.
or who knows. I mean, it's one of those
They-
things.
Because
They can do
Tencent in
whatever.
the U.S. would literally be like, "What the."
Well, that sounds too fucking bad.
And they would
my-
just they would still shift all their money to the U.S. and other freaking like China would still be screwed if they try to take over.
I'm
China.
just saying, this is nationalization of industry is not uncommon in dictatorial society.
I mean, yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that.
It's just that this is the first time it's an entertainment medium,
and also in recent memory. Yeah, like it would be recent. Like, I mean, well, you know what I mean. Like,
no, yeah, in recent memory.
Like to the, you know, okay. Well, yeah, but Venezuela doesn't have a very big video game presence.
Yeah.
At least as a producer.
About entertainment. I'm talking about the state making things state operated instead of.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you're not wrong, but you kind of knew what I meant, right? Right, Andy?
Yeah.
Right, buddy? We're in one harmony, right? This is not an inharmonious chat room, right? Uh-oh. That no, can I just point out
I gotta post the pasta. Hold on.
Can I point out Diablo
Tiananmen Square.
Okay, thank you. Can I point you fucking fuck. Can I point out the Diablo reason being game missions include fraud? I don't know how I feel about that. I don't. Wait, Diablo doesn't have overly revealing female characters, but Warcraft does. Okay, I mean, I don't.
Well, Diablo doesn't have it on the cover.
Oh, okay, it's on the night. Oh well, you know what? Never mind. The phrase Chinese gold farmers didn't just come from nowhere.
Wow, you spammed this. Oh my god.
Oh my god, you need to not, dude. How am I supposed to delete this?
Oh wait.
You gotta prune it.
Wait, no.
Is it one message?
It's one post, yeah. I can do it.
Jesus Christ, whatever. Anyway, besides fucking around with that, I mean, it's cool that they got the list, but it's also kind of, well, sucks to be Fortnite, I guess. But Fortnite had like a $3 billion profit this year, so I mean, they're not exactly doing too poorly, all things considered. They're
no, consider the game is free and they're making money.
They made $3 billion profit over last year.
No, yeah, every single game right now. Remember that Blizzard company who was the head of Blizzard was like, yeah, everybody's looking at Fortnite and wants to be Fortnite. So they're making all these battle royales and copying games because they saw what Fortnite did and they wanted.
But here's the thing, though. I have to give Epic props. Like, I don't like the game Fortnite. But what they do at the end of every season, what they try to do for every new season, I got to give them props. Like, they changed the game completely.
And like, also,
every season goes out with a huge bang. And I'm like, the amount of work you must have taken to do some of the things is crazy. And it's one of the things, like, the Cube lasted, what, it was a 3-month thing, and then if you were in a game at the end of the season, you saw an event, like, the entire map disappeared below your feet, and, like, you were just floating in zero gravity and whatnot. Like, it's crazy what they do for a one-time event. No one else is going to see that.
It's almost like they care.
I know, wow.
Who even likes their games? But yeah, since every game's going to be a battle royale, I'm firing up the cryostasis pod. Somebody wake me in 10 years when it's all gone.
Yo, when are we going to have battle royale, real life, dude?
Never.
It'd be the Purge.
Mr. Nighthawk, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Oh, no.
You said move you, so I moved you.
No, that was just out of nowhere. I was calm and quiet.
Well, I mean, do you want to join us on the Blue Mage podcast? Do you have anything to say about it?
Did you get past the whole Blue Mage thing?
We
haven't even reached it yet.
We haven't even reached it. We're going to talk about Soulja Boy next.
Oh.
You know, so on a side note, you guys remember the that one meme I posted of the fucking interracial porn where it's like that one white chick and the 5 black dudes?
This video's getting demonetized.
I don't care. Fine, there you go, you know what? I'll even play the fucking sound clips I have at the end. Yeah, take the 50 cents I was gonna make. Whatever, I don't care. You remember that one that image I posted? That's I saw an image of Mario and all the black dudes, and Soulja Boy is the white girl, pretty much, because Soulja Boy is prepping to countersue Nintendo, claiming that they license their games to his console. I really think this is an elaborate troll.
Pimnendo licensed the game to Soulja Boy. Okay.
Like
also,
on Chinese hardware.
Soulja Game, not like his website, now redirects to Nintendo's website. So I don't know what
he's getting seized. He's getting actually seized. So this
going to jail.
So for backdrop, This dude, Soulja Boy, he's a rapper. He rides a lot of trends. He had
you know Soulja Boy, dude.
He has that one song, the Superman, and that's pretty much the, he does a lot of other stuff.
The song was called Crank That.
Yeah. Oh, I would never know. Everyone played it back in the day. That was literally a decade ago.
I just thought it was called Soulja Boy Up in This Hoe.
Soulja Boy Up in This Hoe, the special edition. But yeah, he has this one song. He's decided to branch out into electronics. Pretty much, I think we even looked at it. It's just Chinese knockoff hardware that runs emulator software. So I believe that it's just like whatever. Like it just has a bunch of emulators preloaded. So it's kind of just a shittier version of like the classic different consoles, like the Nintendo.
No, not that shittier. It's just I'm gonna say different because the fact that you can load your own shit into it is not fun though. Without going through a bunch of hoops.
Yeah, but like the Soulja Boy did have this thing. We wanted to sell these consoles with all these emulated games, and some of them were Nintendo games. And Nintendo was like, "We never licensed this game to you. What? Why? How could you do this?" And they were basically.
It wasn't that. It's that he was saying that. Oh yeah, this is licensed by Nintendo.
Yeah, he was prepping it, and he was doing all this other
official,
stuff.
dude.
But no, it never was. So
and also you can't bundle
Nintendo wouldn't do that.
On the other side of that, they were threatening to sue him. He apparently was getting ready to countersue, but he pretty much at this point has given up on it. He's not going to contest it. He already pulled his console from his store because they are basically going to probably fuck him legally.
And he's going to jail.
They're going to definitely get him.
I've heard that none of his consoles actually shipped yet, so he's just holding on to your money. He's like,
I think it's shipped.
No, he'll have to do something. I'm sure some of them probably got out, but
I've heard that none of them have shipped so far.
Maybe you're right. It's a fucking emulator.
Then he's just gonna get sued by everybody else.
It's an emulator. Like it's a shitty emulator.
That's the lose. Even if he doesn't ship them out, he gets sued by the fact that literally no one got their stuff when they advertised.
Literally, it's a marketing ploy, dude. They're gonna spoof you.
They're gonna spoof.
But he has a record label. He has a whole bunch of other stuff. But I think
he's gonna have an esports team next year, dude. He's looking at Street Fighter players and Overwatch players, dude.
Which is fine. Like, if he wants to try to like Jay-Z his way up, that's 100% okay. What's not 100% okay is taking someone else's game and being like, yeah, they did license it to me, and then selling it on your bootleg Chinese emulator.
You made this?
I made this.
No. I made this.
I made this. This is mine. But
this is your castle.
So
no, this is my castle.
Crank it out for Soulja Boy or whatever the fuck it is.
He's going to jail.
He's not. He'll be fine. He'll figure something out.
He's probably going to jail.
He's gonna get sued.
Jail, but he's gonna get.
He's gonna get sued.
Some money, dude.
If Nintendo is real,
Nintendo's gonna be like, all right, you actually have the money. Like, you're doing some dumb shit.
We're not going to cease and desist.
Everyone else telling you to stop. Alright, you're going to have to pay up. You're not going to jail, but you're paying.
It's not like you could be like, use the money you sold the consoles for to pay off the infringement. You have to give them all the money that they made off the console as well.
He already pulled the console. I don't think you can't buy it anymore, I don't think. It's done.
No, but I'm saying all the money he got off of those sales originally, he's going to have to give them money back.
Yeah.
So it's not like he didn't even use the money that he got from consoles to pay off the blocks. He has to give them that and pay money.
He also had a huge sword fight on Twitter as well. But I'm not gonna
fight?
like as in sparring with people.
Right now. What?
No, early. It was about a week ago. This was about a week ago when all this happened. But he was fencing against a lot of people because a lot of people were they weren't exactly they were wondering the same questions I think we were, which at this point is kind of the same thing. But yeah, it's a complex story with a very simple ending. I think. To really understand it, you'd have to go back literally a decade to know who Soulja Boy is and how far he's come. But I don't get into it. I just think it's hilarious.
Dude, the only reason they did is because he's black.
Oh, yeah, that's what you wanted to say. Oh my god, I forgot about that. No, I don't think so. I don't agree with him on that. But is it any less hilarious, dude? Absolutely not. It's amazing. All right, well, Mr. Instant Retreat, Mr. Double Prime, I appreciate your service, as always, with this podcast. It's that time. Mr. Searcher One, do you want to talk about Blue Mage?
Sure, dude. What is there to talk about Blue Mage?
Okay,
nothing really.
Forget you. I mean, we can introduce it.
Literally, who cares?
I'm
from
literally
the get-go,
right there too.
after its announced, it was who cares at this point.
No. Okay, can we?
After the 2 hours, it was.
Let's
like,
relive it,
why
Arson. Let's relive it, right? So, Final Fantasy likes to introduce 800 jobs because that's their thing. They have a lot of jobs from lore. So, one thing for 4.5 leading into Stormblood is that they want to introduce a job, right? Cool, fine. But they don't want to have it be up to snuff so you could take it into whatever and
they did. No, hold on. They did do that. They originally wanted to do that.
They did do that, but Ninja...
But they were like, but the fans are gonna like it. They want the Blue Mage to be the actual Blue Mage in the game.
Well, no,
we have to listen to the behest of the fans in this specific case, and never because
this one specific case.
Because we never listen to the fans, and we ought to do something nice for the fans.
Honestly.
But they wanted to have it for 4.5. They didn't want to make it raid ready, so they said we're going to initially cap it to 50, and we're going to call it a limited class. Right? Everyone was cool up until this step. I think everyone said, okay, we're good. You know, they don't want to put it in anything high level where it could be exploitable. Fine. You know, raise the level cap over time. We'll play it. We'll test it. Whatever. Figure it out, etc. Just, it's nice to get a class that everyone has literally been asking for 2 years, right? Everyone's on board at this page. And then, limited job means it can't queue for any sort of roulette, anything that requires matchmaking. You can only make pre-made parties. It has a whole bunch of moves you have to learn in the field. Blue Mage is, for lack of a better term, probably the most true to the lore class in this game, which also means that it is unplayable in this game, because that's not how generally most of the shit in this game goes. So the way Blue Mage works is that you run around the overworld, you have to be hit by monsters, there's a certain chance every time you're hit by a certain move for you to learn it. If you learn it, you could then use it. I mean, it's literally how Blue Mage is in the games.
Overworld and primals.
Yeah.
Not ask any primals. The level 50 primals.
Yeah.
All the Realm Reborn primals that ain't nobody want to do.
And now, to be fair,
dead
though,
content.
If you want to do your ponies, like, if you can just do level 5 death and just insta-kill all of them... Actually, what am I talking about? They're going to make a stipulation saying that, oh, if you do this, you can't get the rewards.
Yeah, oh, no.
Here's the thing, though. Death in the other Final Fantasy games didn't work on most bosses anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of a cheese strat, even if it does work. Like, usually the only things you can death are monsters that are weak to Phoenix Down, because they're undead.
Square Enix, the Final Fantasy 14 team, wouldn't make it so that way a move is completely useless outside of raid content.
Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck?
They would never.
Oh my god, I want to introduce you to one move. Tether. I have never seen the animation for Tether.
Dude,
I have never seen it.
The sleep move, dude?
Oh my god. Fluid aura?
Dude, Tribind, dude, it works out.
No, Tribind's useful. It actually has use now, by the way. Three or more targets in Dreadworm, it does damage. It does more damage now. Yeah, they saved that move, right? You didn't expect that one, see? And now look at that, see? They made one move useful, therefore they're all useful. Don't you love it?
Wait.
They outthought you, Sergio. They knew you were going to do this. But basically, our good friend Blue Fever, rest in peace, who will never come back to us because they literally found out who he was, probably.
We didn't deserve him.
We really did not deserve him. He pretty much called everything that they were going to do for the last year of Stormblood. He pretty much predicted the entirety of Alphascape. He predicted Tsukuyomi. I think he predicted Suzaku.
Let's not say predicted. He leaked it because he clearly...
Yeah, no, he 100% was right. Yeah, 100%.
Wasn't predicting. He just said, I work on the dev team. This is what's coming out. And wow, dude.
He was right.
He actually was right.
He was fucking right. Look at that shit. And he also said, well, Blue Mage will be there, and there's more Eureka, but he didn't really talk about Eureka because... I mean, Arslan, you're a fan of Eureka, right? Don't you just love it?
No. Honestly, I'm not a fan of Square Enix anymore at this point.
You didn't like
Kingdom Hearts is their last goddamn chance, and honestly, from what the leaks are coming out...
oh, no, please, spare us.
I'm not going to spoil anything. Yeah,
that I need to know. I have to do it one more time.
It's like, you know.
Don't you love? I love Square Enix.
Well, the thing with the leaks is that two brothers played them first, right? One brother is like, "Oh, this game is amazing." The other brother is really, really mad about something that happened in the game and apparently ruined the entire game for him.
All right.
So I don't know. I don't know what to think about it.
And now they're on the run from the Square Enix hit force, so they're going to start an anti-Square Enix.
Yeah, all right. Those incompetent fucks having a hit force.
Well, yeah.
I don't know, dude. The CEO of
he has a gun.
Came out with a gun, dude.
He came out with a fucking popcorn gun and held it to Yoshi P. Yes, you motherfucker. You're making another expansion. You're never gonna rest. He literally is gonna be Sakurai by the time he's done.
I just want Shadowbringers to not. Well, how many patches were wasted on Eureka?
4.
When did it first come out?
Every other patch?
4. No, every single.
When did it first come out?
4.2. 4.2. Every single major patch has had a new level of Eureka.
It's ridiculous.
Even worse. Also, Eureka was late content. I just realized.
Yeah, Eureka was late.
It was late. All the stuff it gave you was worthless.
When
you did it because you wanted to make progress on your relic weapon.
When Eureka first came out, it was in 4.2, where the max weapon level was 370, 375. Eureka only went up to 355, which is just over the 340 of last year. And I think the step before the 355 is 340. So, if technically speaking, you could really tell that they probably
can you complete the relic weapons now, like
with Hydratos. I think you will, yeah.
No, like I guess like the Lux versions from Heaven's Ward are they like fully completely done yet? That's coming.
I think that's coming in Hydratos.
Right.
Yeah, you can get into Pyros.
Unless they look amazing.
They do.
I don't see anyone really.
Yeah, they do.
A gallery here, because from what I saw, they looked alright.
You know, they're also adding the armors coming back for the last step, right?
Who cares about this?
Because have you seen the Dragoon armor? You don't want
you're gonna get the old crafted glowing armor again.
No,
you're just gonna get glowing shoulder plates. Yay!
The Dragoon armor is
pretty
lit. On top of
the fact that we're gonna make the dungeon gear look like garbage because it's the gear that was already out, which is recolored. So.
Listen, Malcolm. After this patch, that place is dead. That is dead content. No one's gonna do it.
In a year, how many people want to do Eureka? That number is going to drop.
It's even worse than the old relic grinds. Because at least the old relic grinds, you could do like a bunch of different content, and still, somehow at the end of the month, 2 months, 3 months, however long it takes you, you'll get it eventually.
Not even months. You could do the worst
this
one.
It's either you grind your ass in Poggles while watching Netflix, or just don't do it at all. Which many people have just chosen to not do it at all. Honestly, I feel like Stormblood didn't bleed players off only because World of Warcraft was having literally hemorrhaging players.
I mean,
I don't think if Stormblood didn't existed in a vacuum and World of Warcraft didn't exist, people would probably understand, because I haven't played it after 4.3, 3. I don't remember. And none of my friends played it after that because they were bored. I logged back in for Suzaku. I did Suzaku Party Finders, and that was it. And then I left. I haven't touched the game since.
I mean, you're missing all the fun of Hello World.
Again,
I mean, you're not wrong.
If World of Warcraft didn't shit the bed so hard, Stormblood would have lost a lot of subscribers. Just a ton of it.
I don't disagree with that on some level.
Because outside of raiding, the game isn't much. The game is pretty much just dress up your Animu character, and if you're playing a guy character, well, good luck, because there's shit all for you. So then most people just go become like cat girls or dragon girls or whatever the hell.
Now bunny girls.
Oh
yeah, or bunny girls are coming out.
Literally appealing their characters
because there's fuck all to do other than raiding. And once you raid, the servers that are primarily centered around raiding are just log in weekly, do my raid, let me go play another game.
Which means that anyone else who wants to step into raiding gets cucked. They can't play the game.
Okay, I'll raid with you, Sergio. I already said that.
Everyone else, no. I'm just saying that in general. After Tuesday, dude, after the reset, dude, good luck.
I mean,
all the players have gotten
for the most part, unless someone was sick,
incentive.
there's no reason to do it. And since people want 2 chest runs, there's zero incentive to help out other people.
The worst. I can get you not getting rewards again, but to punish other players in your group who put in their effort to get the clear.
Yeah, I think that with 1 carry, you should still get 2 chests, even if you can't roll.
I think if half the party has not cleared, you should get 2 chests. if more than half of the party hasn't cleared, then yeah, then
I'd say maybe a quarter.
Consider one
I'd say 2 players, and they can't roll because it is kind of scummy that like one person might be like, oh, we need assistance or whatever, or a sub, and then you just kind of sucks to be you. You just get jack shit.
But hey, we're working on it. Please wait. Oh wait, we're not working on it. It takes too much work.
That's actually one thing I put on here is I put up 2 things that they said they were going to continue and they never did. One of them is Diadem.
Too much work.
Diadem was around, and they said they're going to keep. I remember Diadem got like 1 major update, maybe 2, and then they pretty much dropped it. They fucking bounced. And then the other one is EG Glamours, which they introduced literally almost a full X pack ago. And because the guy went to go work on other stuff, they have just not released anything else, period. EG Glamours were something that they added. You could recolor your summoner shit. All they added were carbuncles, and that was it. They didn't add anything else. So, I mean, I 100% agree with you. I think Eureka has been too little too late, and not only that, too unfun to really want to grind. I think they made too much of it grind heavy. Like if you just want to get everything, I think that it's too much, especially since they tied relic progression to it, and it's the kind of thing that
it's solely tied. That's the only way you can get your relic is to do this
no
content,
other way.
And it's a waste of time if you need to do other things.
I would prefer.
You can't do that in that time span because
you're fucked.
Yeah, it's just really because also isn't there light for the new Eureka? Where you
I have no clue. I stopped after I went to Pagos one day and I was like, dude, I don't like this anymore. And even though the shit looks nice, I don't want to do it. It's not. It is not like it's not even something that, like, you could zone out doing. It's just awful.
You have to pay attention for it. Yeah.
I went to do Zodiac weapons over this shit because at least Zodiac weapons has you doing a variety of shit. Like, it might be old shit, but it's still, do these dungeons, kill these enemies, go to other places of the base game that you haven't been to in, like, 100 hours, or 100 days, rather. Like, that's at least something, right? I don't have fun doing Eureka. I got the base upgraded weapons, and, I mean, the only thing I could see them doing...
I like how their only successful extra content for this expansion was just basically a reskin of old content from last expansion. Which was Palace of the Dead, which is now called, what is it called? Heaven on High?
Yeah, Heaven on High.
The Ultimate Fights were well received, but
who doesn't? Hold on.
People still do it.
They were well received. It's just that only a limited amount of players can actually.
Listen, I wasn't like 5% of Savage people do Savage or something like that, and then out of those people, like I think 2% clear it. And then from then on, I think not even 1% attempt the Ultimate Fights. I mean,
yeah, but the players who asked for it got it, and they were sad. They were happy with it. They thought it was very good content. The issue is that they just gave up on it halfway through. So.
See, the majority of the players, just like any other goddamn standard deviation, is in the middle, and there's literally almost no mid-core content in the game besides Prime.
I get that. But the hardcore players asked for the content, they got it, and it was well received.
That's fine.
It came out of the blue. No, it was asked for, and.
I mean, yeah, but hardcore players are always going to ask for more. That's fine. But when the majority, as a game developer looking at hardcore numbers and doing the most logical thing possible, you would want to flesh out the mid-core aspect of it. There's plenty of casual content in the game. The game is mostly casual. There's almost no challenge in the game, and that's evidenced by like samurais doing like 1500 DPS on literally any dungeon ever. So. There's no real challenge or any incentive for the players to push themselves harder.
I'm not sure if
There's plenty of casual content there, but for mid-core content, what do we have? We've got 8-man raids, maybe? I don't even consider those mid-core, but let's just...
I consider the first 2 floors of Savage to be mid-core content. Mid-core, outside of... I don't believe that Midgar Somer is too mid-core. It's more of the upper end of mid-core content, but... The first 2 floors of Savage are generally mid-core content.
Right, but for the most people are going to be like, oh no, Savage is too hard, I never want to try it. And so the majority of mid-core people are going to be like, okay, I'll do EX trials or something like that, which is a decent starting off point for most people who want to go into Savage. So most people are going to go, let me try Byakko EX or Suzaku EX, or what was it, Tsukiyomi? we don't have much mid-core content in the game, so like the majority of your players, once they've reached end game and do like the EX fights, don't have anything else to do and will leave. You've got the casual players who will just grind Tombstone week after week, and they'll be done 2 days or 2 to 3 days of the week, and then they'll leave. And you've got the hardcore players who will log in 1 day of the week and raid and then leave. There's not anywhere near enough of a semblance of an end game in this game.
Eureka could have been that, which is the problem. Is like if they had implemented
and no, here's the thing though. Yoshi P fully expects that. He's like, well, if you don't like it, then unsub.
Just unsub, and that's a great fucking stance to take.
But that's not how this.
It's a great stance to take
for a subscription service.
I expect people to just dip for literally 3 months.
Again, all over again. You know,
I mean, at least he didn't insult him. He's just like, yeah, if you don't want to play, unsub. Just fuck off.
I mean, he also you don't have to play this game all the time. There are other games out there. He also gave an example of a game that he was like playing Final Fantasy
15.
No, some Puzzles and Dragons games.
Oh, okay, Yoshi P. Yeah. Go play Final Fantasy 15, dude.
No, it was a mainline game. It was the guy studio Professor Layton. They made the game, and he was like, okay, yeah, I like this game. So,
you know what other game I like, dude? I like Final Fantasy 11.
Like, every patch, the game is only worthwhile to play. Like,
and people do raid more than just Tuesday.
3 weeks.
To be fair,
3 weeks, and then you've exhausted all the content.
I gotta give it a little more credit. It's more than just 1 day a week for Savage. I mean, you could do it any day, but it's kind of Tuesday.
You are the upper echelon of people who sink their time into the game.
You could just look in the party finder. It's Tuesday to Friday is the hotbed for Savage. That's
2 days of a 7-day week. I mean, that's not exactly better.
But not everybody can go do Tuesday.
I mean, it's more like 4 days a week, but yeah, I get the point that Monday, Sunday, and Saturday are fucking shit days. I know that.
No, I agree with Armand. It's actually very unhealthy that during peak hours, which should be the weekends, that it is impossible to do high level content.
Virtually impossible. You kind of I lucked out.
That's pretty unhealthy for a player base.
I did kind of luck out.
You need to lower the level of difficulty.
Which they've been doing, which isn't working.
Or you need to raise the player base.
Exactly. I actually wouldn't say that they've been lowering the difficulty.
They haven't.
They really did not this time around. They actually raised it.
Midgard Sommer as a fight is very complicated because there's no tells. You have to literally look at what he's doing.
I was talking about in general.
I do believe it's bad game design because every other content in the game allows you to at least look at the move that they're
maybe this patch, but from Storm's Blood, the beginning of Storm's Blood, everything was taken down a significant notch from Heaven's Ward. Remember Lakshmi EX? Remember fucking what's his face?
Okay.
Turtle
the
Man.
primals.
Turtle
the primals,
Man
no,
EX?
I agree with the primals. The primals.
No, remember what was it? Delta Escape? I forgot. Alpha Escape, the first floor, the Snake Man, Outroy.
I mean,
that was a joke.
No. I agree that was a joke, but it was the first floor of the first.
Second floor wasn't that hard either.
Yeah.
Second floor was.
Holly was a pretty big.
The third one was the card game, right?
Yeah. The second floor was a proper Savage fight. The third floor was actually
difficult.
The third floor, it was actually.
That was actually harder than Guardian.
Maybe it's just my ward percent. Because again, the only other Savage I did before those were Gordius.
I do think the progression, the progression for the first. You might as well call this podcast a retrospective in Storm's Blood. Because we're honestly,
What is it? Hell's Open, dude. Heaven's Weep.
But the first tier of Savage was actually a good progression. The fights went from relatively easy. That fight, I do believe as a casual player, you would still have some trouble with the fight if you weren't carried. Because I'm using Jimmy for example. I don't believe that Jimmy would be able to clear the fight if he wasn't effectively carried by 7 other people who knew
talking
what
about
they
the
were
second
doing.
fight?
Yeah.
No, the first fight.
Tentacle Man?
All right, nice.
Really?
All right.
Yes. I don't believe that a new player, a complete casual, would be able to clear that fight without the help of
when it was relevant.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the people who attempt Savage are mid-core looking to get into hardcore. So most casual people, when they see Savage or EX, don't even attempt it because the words scare them. So, I mean...
Alright, you're not wrong. You're actually not wrong.
That's kind of a moot point. I mean, yeah, of course, some dude who can't press buttons properly is probably going to have a hard time in Outroy.
I mean, to be fair, I can't press buttons properly. Like, sometimes I fuck up shit, but I mean...
Well, no, I'm not even talking about order.
I know, I'm just saying, like...
Just pressing a button after your global cooldown is done. Most people don't do it. They're like, honestly, I fucked up, let me reset myself.
I don't even see how.
Well, the thinking is... I messed up my combo.
Start out.
Let me just start all over.
Start the rotation from the beginning.
Instead of trying to fix it with the fuck up and then, you know, melding the new rotation into the fuck up so that it's not so bad.
What are pots?
Or a lot of people will be like...
I'm also talking about the players who literally do not press the button after the G.
The thing is, a lot of people will wait for the dash lines thing, if you still have that, like, up and running on it. A lot of people will wait to see the dash line thing, and then proceed to the next dash line thing instead of actually thinking about what their combo is or having it on muscle memory. They'll just look at the dash line to see what button they have to press.
Sometimes for procs, I know you have to do that, but... Yeah, it's one of the, I've done my fair share of raiding with, you know, special cases. Let's just say that. It's a Law and Order unit.
Did I ever tell you the story of the pedal samurai?
The pedal samurai. Oh, he just did the fucking cherry
blossom. He only did that one goddamn combo with cherry blossom.
And he TP floored, didn't he? He ran out.
He was like, "What? I'm following with a combo the way it told me to." And I was like, "God damn it!
God damn it! The class isn't easy enough. We gave you everything you needed: meta DPS, easy fucking dot, everything, and you still can't do it." You know, when you look at Dragoon and Ninja. Like, I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
People don't refresh their dots. They'll, like...
Well, they'll put it up once, so fuck it.
And the worst thing is that they made it so that way there's no dot that you can apply outside of your combo. To phlebotomize, get rid of that, dude. I remember...
Mutilate, goodbye.
Every other combo.
To be fair, Hataze, I think it's called, isn't, like, the best thing to... I mean, it is the most potent thing to do, but in terms of flow, it feels... definitely out of your combo.
It feels a little weird, but when you make your Shishui out of it, it's not too bad. But the problem is you have to know how to make your Shishui out of it. And...
Yeah, for shit like Summoner and Bard, it's literally a button press. Why not just press it?
You know, I actually have the Omega Grimoire.
Hell, Summoner fucking refreshes itself.
Yeah, but you kind of got to flow your rotation, to be fair.
It's not.
It's not hard, but I mean, again, I don't think anything we said here is difficult.
There's a dedicated button to refresh both of your dots. There's one button specifically for that job.
You know what I've
nobody
seen,
ever presses it.
And I probably made this mistake too. Is a lot of times you can try Disaster, Dreadworm, and I've seen a lot of summoners try Disaster again, and that is just a complete waste of the refresh. Yeah, that is as a mega feels bad, but yeah, I mean this raid tier. I mean, I was raiding Alphascape.
Well, no, yeah, this raid tier I haven't done it. I haven't even been playing the game, but from what you guys have been telling me and from what streams I've been watching, it seems more not complex, more involved than the other two.
It's less rewarding. As I said, Midgar Somer is the worst Savage fight I've ever done in this game.
Fuck that.
It's not a fun fight.
Midgar is not fun.
What's the first fight?
That's the second one, right?
Yeah.
Chaos was fun.
Chaos is fun as fuck, my dude. I love Chaos.
Midgard is just stressful. Because it's stressful because it's only the second floor, but if you make one mistake, that is a
fuck it.
To be fair, from what I read, I forgot what interview I read this from, but the second fight of Savage was designed by newer people on the team because they're trying to rotate people on the team so that they have experience designing fights. Yeah, they fucked up
this time.
Well,
and instead of designing a fight, Yoshi said that they designed a puzzle instead of a fight. And they basically had to scrap it together and try to make it work.
Did they also make Hello World, by the way? Because that's a puzzle. People still have problems. I figured out my Hello World shit. I've wiped on that shit enough, but like I don't know. If you're not a healer, I don't know how it's difficult. I mean, I don't know what to say, really.
But back to Blue Mage, it's completely worthless.
Yeah, like
most things in Stormblood. Literally no point to it existing.
Under-delivering, yeah. I would have preferred... I think this is what a lot of people were expecting. They were expecting Blue Mage to be announced as one of the 3 new classes for Shadowbringers. I think that's what the whole point of it was. The whole build-up Was that, hey, you're the class you
like
all have asked for.
It'd be one thing if they were like, okay, Blue Mage is going to be like this at first because we don't know what the hell we're doing with Blue Mage, and then we'll slowly try to work it into a class.
They have literally denied that will be the possibility. They have flat out said,
no, it's going to be a single player class that can't ever like use the duty finder.
But that's actually what Yoshida said, is that he has the final say for everything.
Yeah, so all the content that you that's in this
game,
or
don't he has the final say.
Like 30% of it, and we won't let you do it with random people. You have to have a specific group of friends who are willing to deal with your bullshit.
Or playing Blue Mage themselves.
The old content that they're wasting their times doing.
And the worst thing is that I realize now, a matchmaker is absolutely required for games to function. If you like, look at Destiny, people couldn't do the raids because there was no in-game matchmaker. You would have to go out of your way to find.
Go on Reddit or something.
Go on Reddit.
Yeah, Discord or whatever.
What was it called? No, it was called Looking LFG.
LFG. Final Fantasy the same way. You can't really matchmake for Savage. So a limited, like if there was matchmaking for Savage, sure.
You don't want to matchmake for Savage though.
No, I actually want there to be matchmaking for Savage, but I want the ability to just be able to dip out as soon as the people cannot do their.
Yeah,
to be fair, I think no Final Fantasy has the LFG system through the Party Finder.
Yeah, but it's not enough. He
means like random matchmaking.
There needs to be random matchmaking for certain content to function.
The problem is that anyone after a point will just go in.
That's what WoW did. World of Warcraft did that, and the game is essentially single player theme park.
Yeah. You could basically get to max level. Yeah.
It's frustrating to like be put up with people that are garbage, but the second you put in a matchmaker, any type of sociability in an MMO is gone. Completely gone.
I disagree with that.
The problem with it,
I will point to World of Warcraft.
It forces you to meet new players. No, I was thinking.
No.
It forces you to meet new players.
You would think that. But the way World of Warcraft used to work was if you wanted to go into a dungeon, you'd have to talk to people who are willing to go into that dungeon.
There was no LFG. There was.
Then it evolved into like what we have now as a duty finder. I don't know what they call it over there.
It's
But now nobody
Party Finder. It's literally called Party
There's no
Finder.
need to talk to each other because fuck it, I'll just go find random people. The dungeons are easy enough for me to do it, and I'll do it, and I'll be done.
Yeah, back in the day, you would sit in the city.
Actually, you know what? No, I take it back. I agree with you. I actually agree with you.
You'd have to talk to people, and if the person was bad, they'd have the reputation of being a shitty person, and nobody would want to deal with you, or people would try to help you.
Because there was no cross server back then, you would just go sit in the city and be like, "Hey, anyone want to do Rage Fire?"
Oh, that was like that for Toontown as well. If you want to do
it was like that for Dream and Mirror Online.
Yeah,
that's how player reputations on servers became.
Yeah.
Now, like think of any person on your goddamn server. You think of anybody of note on your server. Does anybody else know him besides you? Probably not, because
unless they're really good.
Dude, that was
you don't really get infamous anymore.
Dude, people got alienated for that shit. I remember that. Holy crap.
So like, if you were a bad player in World of Warcraft, one of two things would happen. You would either join a guild, and the guild would try to build you up and make you a better player, or if you were just one of those people that were just shitty in general and wanted other people to carry you, you'd have the reputation of that.
Well, there's a third option. There's a third option, though. You forgot.
Oh, you'd buy a carry. I forgot. People used to sell things all the time in World of Warcraft.
There's a fourth option, actually.
Then what?
They introduced it. Fantasia, your character, new name, new everything. Begin again.
But yeah, hold on. Weren't there Battle.net accounts that you could?
Yeah, this was later on. This was like Wrath.
So Final Fantasy has an LFG thing where people are forced to try to team up, and yet the reputations of characters don't really like follow them unless you're Japanese. For some reason, they have a shit list, but like the reputations of characters don't follow you. But if you were to take that if you were to force a duty finder to it, nobody would talk to anybody. Nobody would try to make pots for anybody. There would be no free company like statics. There would be nothing, because if it was in any way slightly inconvenient to like schedule around the other 7 people, you'd be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go into the duty finder and do it myself. And I mean, it would suck dick because doing stuff on the party finder in of itself sucks dick if you don't have a dedicated static. But through enough times of doing it, there's a decent chance that you'll just clear and get what you want anyway. Like if you just brute force your way through the duty finder, you'll just be done. And now some people might be like, I don't want to deal with that hassle, I'll go make a pre-made static. But most people are just going to be like waiting for a pre-made static. It's too long. I'm doing nothing in the game. I may as well just try the duty finder. And more often than not, they'll actually clear their floors, and slowly but surely find literally no reason to ever make a static. Yeah, unless you're like a close knit group of friends.
You can clear I keep calling it Hello World. You can clear Final Omega with no static. I mean, that's literally my life now. As I just on Sunday
hold on a second. That's like it's every content. You can clear any content in the game with no static.
Let's be fair.
I cleared
I don't know about Gordius.
I cleared Kefka without a static because I did it on my own, and then I came back and.
I don't know about Gordius.
But let's be fair here. That was when Kefka was relatively new. Omega is now 3 months old. Like, it's not real. This is a solved formula. Like,
again, I'm going to point to Gordius. I cannot think of any static that was just random schmuck's pulled off the party finder to be able to. Remember, what was it called? Living Water, Living Liquid, or some shit.
Yeah,
the third fight. The third fight. That was
overtuned though. Like that fight is known to be an overtuned fight. So
I know, but but the thing is, you could not clear that without a static. There was no way in hell you were going to clear that without a static. Now they haven't overtuned the fight at all in Storm's Blood. Honestly, I feel like they've undertuned it up until this last tier.
I really believe Midgar Somer is overtuned. I want to say at the time that Halocronaxis was overtuned because there's a lot of things that happened in the final phase that I think they needed to have not done that. Because there's certain mechanics that come out way too fast. Where you just take, or mechanics in which you solve, but you take damage anyway, which is just stupid.
Oh yeah, what was that?
A lot of that comes down to
You're on the right square, but you still take damage after being hit with a raid-wide AoE. Nah, you can miss
a lot of that comes down to the server tick and the servers being asked.
No. It's intentional. You take a raid-wide hit, then you do the mechanic correctly, then you take damage.
But what you just said is actually true in 012. You have to break tethers. Each tether deals damage and gives you 2 stacks of Vuln, which will make anything that you get hit by kill you from Omega besides autos. And the last one has to be resolved before he does a nice big attack, which will guaranteed kill anyone. And yeah, we've done it correctly 3 times. 4th time, some dude is just like, I don't know, his internet dropped for 2 seconds or whatever. Not even dropped, just, you know, fucking the server said fuck you. We read it as being up, so you die, and that's just a wipe because that's Hello World, and you need 8 people, and now you only have 7, so you literally just cannot survive the fucking fight. That's my thing about 012 is that, and to some degree 011 is that if one person dies, I mean, you just pretty much are fucked. Like, if not because of mechanics, just DPS, it's just, you're fucked. There's no recovering from it. This is completely irrelevant to the topic at hand, but it is actually a good thing, just in general. I mean, like, I've rated every fight in this, in Stormblood, but, Neo X Death, because I did clear X Death that 1 or 2 times, which after I get my mount and my Paladin sword from Final, I do want to clear Delta to get my mount from X Death, and I'm literally never touching this shit again. But, I mean, that's kind of just how raiding goes now. I mean, it's better than Alexander. I mean, to say the least, Gordius being awful and Midas being tolerable, but this is before, you know, you would get your shit back on every
Brute
pull.
Justice Extreme was, or whatever you call him, that is
Brute Justice God mode.
But that's enough for me, dog.
When you get like ever since Creator, raiding in this game has been tolerable because you get your shit back at the end of every pull. You don't have to wait 10 minutes for
I remember that shit. You just have to wait for the summoner to get his shit done. Oh my god.
You still have to wait for that, but I mean, like, every other cooldown is like, hey, I popped Hallow.
I remember after every pull, I'd have to wait a minute or
there was macros that showed there were macros that showed how long it would take for these moves to come off a seat. Oh my god.
Like, who wants to raid in that? That's not fun.
People didn't know. People did, but that's why statics were like, yo, we're raiding for 5 hours nonstop.
It's like no! Who the fuck?
Because you would literally sit there for 10 minutes not doing
anything. So you would get maybe like 5 good pulls a lockout because you have to wait for whatever cooldown.
What's that? You wipe early? You better wait for your potion to come off a CD as well. Because you have to wait the full 5 minutes for your potions.
That kind of works in World of Warcraft, at least the raids that I used to do, because in WoW, I mean, I didn't do like the ridiculous shit, but some of the hard shit I did, you didn't really need to have a lot of your shit up. You could just like kind of just fucking mash your way through it somehow. But like in a game where you need your cooldowns to do the DPS needed to clear, and you need to have these cooldowns to survive, it's different because you can't just accommodate for that error through not fucking up later. It's not the same. But yeah, I mean, listen, I thought Stormblood was pretty lit, dude. We had Kefka. Sigmascape was the most fun. I don't really have a problem with anything in Sigma. I think Sigma was pretty fucking good. But you know, Kefka was fun. It was kind of whatever, but you know, it could be worse, right? Could always be worse. I think that just the problem is that to get back to Blue Mage, because we're not even talking about it anymore because it's such an afterthought.
As
the
I
problem,
said, Stormblood retrospective.
I mean, you're right. That's kind of what it is, to be fair. But I just called it the Blue Cast because why not? I mean, it is what it is, right? But like,
what is there to talk about Blue Mage?
How excited you are to play it?
It's worthless, and they fucked up, and they still are doubling down on their fuck up.
All right, we haven't really spoken about this. So the other issue with Blue Mage, the reason why they don't want to balance it is because the class has just broken skills, because apparently they think that the player base wants to play a broken class, because that's what they were asked. They want Blue Mage to be made faithfully.
To quote Yoshida,
I don't want Dragoons to be made faithfully. I want to be able to jump and not take damage. It doesn't work.
To be fair, I think all the classes there were broken. I mean, they've Red Mage in particular, I remember, was being particularly broken in all its renditions. But I mean, they made it work. I don't understand why they wouldn't put the work into.
I mean, yeah, that's actually
but it's too much work. We don't know the code. Please wait.
No,
please
understand. That's what Sergio said, though, is that he's like, oh, well, I want to be able to jump and stay up there for like 20 seconds and come down and do decent damage. I mean, they've transferred all the ideology behind these jobs into a real-time MMO, but it's not true to its original faithful incarnation. Like, Red Mage should have access to a whole bunch of healing moves that it clearly does not. Like Dark Knights,
for the sake of balance, and nobody complains because you get to play the class.
Yeah, because you get to play the fucking shitty class.
People just want to be able to see Blue Mage wear gear that's related to their class
and balance it, yeah, and
have skills that are reminiscent of the original skills that at least are functionally equivalent. They may not be exactly because you can't balance it, but
yeah, that's my point. They can't balance it. They can't. If they
don't even want to end
what was it? They would have a fourth caster. They already have an annoying ass time to try to balance the casters in general. I think the only one that is worth any amount of shit right now is Red Mage, and that's only during prog.
No, it's the opposite actually.
All the casters are actually really balanced.
Red Mage, from what I understood, it was Red Mage during prog, Black Mage if you wanted damage, or Summoner if you wanted to fit into a meta group.
But Summoner and Black Mage are still on top.
You literally just said, by the way, all the characters, all the classes serve their purpose. You can use any of them in Savage if you want.
It's just, well, Red Mage is in kind of a bad position because Embolden doesn't work on other casters, and it's kind of a weird thing to do.
But Black Mage and Summoner are really
they all serve their specific purpose, but the issue between balancing another caster would be the issue of adding another goddamn tank, in which case they all do the same thing. They all almost have all the same fucking skills. I mean, Black Mage and Summoner and Red Mage play wildly different from each other. But I think they're afraid of doing the same thing they did to tanks and healers, and where tanks all have the same, press this button for 25 mitigation. It just has a different name and a different weird effect.
They're going to be doing that again with
right, but then you run into the problem of homogenization, which makes it so that there really is no point in playing another class other than the looks of it.
I mean, honestly, though, hold on a second. In an MMO, though, I don't give a fuck. Like, honestly, so long as the class.
Don't why have the other? No, hold on. We're gonna go back to.
For the effects, we're gonna go back to the way the class looks.
The God of War open world shit. If it doesn't serve a purpose, why is it there?
Because for fan wank, because this game is literally a fan wank game.
This game is a fan wank game.
Also, you have to balance it. The reason why Dark Knight sucks is because it's functionally different than the other two tanks, in a bad way. Because they want to prior.
Yeah. No, I think the reason why Dark Knight sucks is because it doesn't have as much mitigations as the other two tanks.
No, it doesn't. No, it specifically doesn't have party-wide mitigation. It only has a single party mitigation.
It doesn't have that. So therefore, it sucks compared to the other two, which are almost identical.
Also, it has a fuck ton of personal mitigation, by the way. Am I correct?
Yeah, I was in Final Omega as a Dark Knight, and I'm doing
yes and no, depends. Or you can have 100% uptime on their CD's Paladin can stupid dumb shit. I mean, personal mitigation in terms of one big ass attack that they don't have to care about. Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, in terms of the overall fight, honestly, Warrior and Paladin come out ahead of.
Well,
yes, because of the group utility that they have.
And Warrior and Paladin.
I'm just talking about themselves. Their own selfish mitigation. Warrior and Paladin come out ahead of Dark Knight.
The only nice thing
outside of giant ass tank busters, the damage in this game.
It's spread
pointless.
around. It's not only that, it's spread across a decent time period. Like you might take an auto and a boss move at the same time, which is usually about 40k.
So for function, like on paper, sure, Dark Knight can like eat a bunch of damage, great. But when it comes out to actually playing with these classes and the fights that these classes are put in, they're all functioning the same, except one class doesn't have the utility the other two classes do. And the other two classes' utility are the exact same thing. It's just Shake It Off is just a shield. Was Divine Veil? No, Divine Veil's a shield. Shake It Off is just some weird aura that they put around you. It does the same exact goddamn thing.
Yeah. Well, one of them. I mean, Shake It Off is what, a 10% HP barrier, whereas Shake It Off
it's 10%, and then it increases by another 8 depending on what cooldowns you.
Well, no, that Shake It Off is 8, I think, right? And it goes up by 4% each time. And
I don't remember.
I think Divine is just a flat 10%. I mean, they're functionally almost equivalent because you're basically going to guaranteed use raw.
It depends. I mean, they're equivalent in terms of like AOE damage is coming up, but depending on
how much you
if the Warrior can time their goddamn worthless ass CDs that they're not going to use, and Warrior comes out ahead on what they can just throw away.
That's what I do for 011 is I fucking.
But the thing is, besides
the
the group mitigation, the tanks are almost all
identical.
they're
all the same. Well, Dark Knight plays differently because you don't have any burst phases.
To be fair, they stripped Dark Knight of everything. They really shouldn't be considered into this discussion, considering they took everything Dark Knight had, gave it to the other two tanks, and then wondered why the other two tanks were better than Dark Knight.
And then they pulled ahead. Yeah, I mean, when you take what was it called, Dark Dance off of Dark Knight, and you no longer make a lot of the shit physical. You pretty much, no one touches anticipation. I mean, it's kind of just there. Like, you could use it if the boss is autoing you.
It was used in Halicarnassus.
I mean, there's no reason to not use it anymore.
It depends. It literally, it depends on the fight.
Because you could proc
and you would just use it.
Well, that's the point. You can have all roll skills, so there's really no reason to not have it there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, well, now Hallie
No, I'm talking about when Halicarnassus was first released. Like, you had to run anticipation, otherwise you would just die.
No, that was awareness.
What is anticipation?
Oh, where anticipation makes
by 20%. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's just pointless. Yeah, but it's one of those.
The thing is, in terms of the Paladin and Warrior, one has a 20%. Both of them have the same exact 20% mitigation.
I mean, everyone does now because they're unoriginal. They literally removed class identity. By the way,
is 30% with some damage back. The other one is 40%
with a higher CD of a minute.
Yeah, then you've got your Inner Beast equivalent to Rampart. You've got your Clemency Equilibrium, equivalency. You've got your Fell Cleave.
And that does help in Final Omega, by the way. Depending
you've got Fell Cleave, which is equivalent to that spell thing. I forgot the name of. Holy Spirit.
Yeah. But being able to heal yourself as a tank without having to hit.
Combos. You've got Goring Blade into the other one.
Yeah, there's 3 combos on each, basically.
You've got the aggro combo, which you only use once, if ever. Probably never.
Probably never, yeah, ideally.
But,
there's 2 combos that you alternate between. Your Goring and Royal Authority, and with your Storm's Eye and Path.
Storm's Path and Storm's Eye.
The problem with Dark Knight is that they did not give back any sort of either damage over time or personal buff attack. So there's just only one combo.
But that's the thing I'm trying to say. Like, you can say the same thing for healers. You've got your heal to full fucking move. You got your AOE heal. You got your AOE. You got your single target regen, and then you've got the little extra flares here and there. I mean, they're almost identically, functional. If you were just going to go down to bare bones, what they do. Yeah, Scholar has a fairy that does most of the healers, and people who play Scholar just play it as a DPS class and let the fairy do additional healer to help out the white mage who's doing primary healing, or the astrologist who's doing primary healing. But that's only because people found a way to play that class that way. Otherwise, if you were let's say in a dungeon setting, where you have to be the primary healer, they all play almost exactly the same.
Yeah,
and the thing is, if they were to add in a 4th caster, it would either step on the toes of Black Mage, Red Mage, or Summoner. And you might be like, yeah, who gives a shit? Just let me have my other class. That's fine and all.
But if
you do that enough times, eventually the classes are meaningless.
And I think I've said this, Sergio,
either classes are meaningless, or there's only a handful of classes for you to choose from, and therefore other classes thus become meaningless. Like from people who chase meta and don't know how to play the game. You know, in their minds, if I just have this meta roster, we'll clear. Instead of, you know, just let me play well and we'll eventually clear. So, but if you were to add that in, I remember when Ninja first came in, it stepped on the toes of Dragoon and Monk. And Ninja, when it first came in, was retardedly broken. So Monk and I think Dragoon were kind of just washed to the side in terms of Ninja being the de facto slot-in for melee DPS. And you run the risk of that every single time you add a new class in.
And that's kind of my
in order to avoid it,
you run the risk if you don't balance the classes.
I mean, that's
like,
the other. That's the other.
That's the other thing I'm trying to say. Like, if in your, you know, goal of trying to avoid it, you then run into the risk of homogenization, in which case all classes are exactly the same. You might not give a crap about everything being the same. You're like, oh yeah, this is a fan win game, but eventually over time, people are gonna be like, there's really no point in me trying to do X, Y, or Z. You know.
I think WoW achieved it pretty decent. Yeah, it did happen to WoW at a lot of points, but they do achieve it on WoW a little bit better.
And I will always use WoW as an example because this game is literally Final Fantasy Park WoW
Warcraft edition. Yeah, like WoW kind of dealt with it though because they tried to give each class its own unique play style and each not only each class
at first.
Each,
yeah, I mean, look at it now.
I mean, well, yeah, but that's because they just have gone too long.
Well, that's my point. That's my point. If you eventually try to,
and that's one thing I said to Sergio.
Everything becomes the same.
They feel obligated to add classes each expand. They feel obligated to add multiple jobs each expansion, and I think eventually, if not this expansion, then definitely whatever 6.0 is. That's just going to be a bad idea because we're already.
No, hold on, I disagree with that. Solely because doesn't WoW get more expansions on average than Fantasy? Like WoW gets like what, 2 expansions every year and a half?
Expansion every 2 years.
Is it really one expansion?
Yes, one expansion every 2 years. Burning Crusade came out in 2007, which was 3 years after launch. Wrath came out in 2009. I think Kata came out late 2010, which was the opposite end of.
They're like mini patches that are like huge. Like they completely changed the game, aren't there? Like in between.
Well, they balance the game constantly.
Sometimes depends on the expansion.
They class balance the game.
Well, the thing is between World of Warcraft,
Crusade, right?
Yeah, continue.
We're on Burning Crusade, correct?
We're not on Burning Crusade.
No, now we're on Battle for Azeroth, which is
And what was the previous one?
Legion, which was 2016.
Legion, and before that was War.
And before that was
I remember there was a recent. People were talking about it. It wasn't for Legion. Battle for Azeroth. It was just something that happened after that expansion dropped. That was just a major change, and people were like, "It's a brand new game now." So.
Well, yeah, because they revamped the weapon system and with the lore, and you could actually like customize your weapon. But in terms, I mean, we don't have that in Final Fantasy. The weapon you get is the weapon you get. That's the end of the story. You might get to put materia in it, but this game has a pretty solvable meta and a pretty solvable DPS. Like, there's no various builds you run with classes.
Yeah,
like, most classes do not run more than 1 or 2
mathematical
builds.
Equation to find out which
like,
one
if
works.
you're a Dark Knight, I think now there might be a skill speed build for another hit under blood weapon, but that's pretty much it. And Warrior has either crit build or just damage build. And then I think Samurai had a skill speed build. But that's like every class pretty much melds 100% identical at best in slot to the next. There is no variation because there's no specialization.
And the melds only give you maybe like a 2% variation between, you know.
Like literally, we're talking not Enrage. This is not going to save you from Enrage as opposed to your party playing better on a whole. So like, but the thing that WoW does is that WoW will balance shit that's broken or not usable pretty much on a monthly or weekly or however often they need to.
Well, let's not try to tout WoW as like.
I'm not. But they do try, like and this is maybe historically they have tried harder, but they do it like unlike Dark Knight, which for the most part of this expansion has been in the doghouse, and we could look at.
I'm going to point to Shamans.
I mean, Shamans, yeah, but Shamans was one case. And
garbage,
fair,
and they've been garbage for fucking ever now.
Well, to be fair, Healer Shaman was always good, to be fair. Healer Shaman was pretty decent back when I
Shamans and Warlocks, I remember.
Yeah, Warlocks, well, what to be fair,
have been garbage for goddamn ever.
Like, the class as a whole is not that bad.
I think Warlock is pretty. I forgot which one it was, but I think it's Warlock.
But yeah, but like that's the thing is like if you want to play Warlock because you're stuck on that class, at least you have options. If you want to play Dark Knight,
yeah, but all the options on Warlock are all shit. If you want to be a healer Warlock,
well,
if you want to be a DPS Warlock, the DPS is ass. And I think those are the only options. I don't even think there's.
But I do at least see an attempt from them to try to keep stuff relatively competitive, which they just flat out do not do in Final Fantasy.
Again, I'm going to point out to Warlock where it's been shit for 2 expansions now, and I wouldn't call that relatively competitive. But Blizzard is great at a lot of things in terms of how they design their MMO balance. Once again, is not Blizzard's forte at all. Whatsoever.
I think the tank balance and the healers have been pretty fine, and most of the DPS has just been.
To be fair, again, tank balance is
kind of in the shitter.
Much better than it was in Heaven's War.
But to be fair, we also have less classes to even consider here because there's no specializations.
Wait, tank balance is better
now than it was in Heaven's Ward.
Now than in Heaven's Ward, yes. Because Dark Knight is
because
still
it was either
viable.
Warrior or Warrior Dark Knight. You would not touch Paladin whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then most of the times people just went Warrior.
I just remembered seeing more variety, but it's mostly because I saw a lot more Dark Knights than I did.
Because you couldn't block magical. I mean, that Sheltron being able to just be on demand.
Yeah, you couldn't block magical, so Dark Knight was automatically a pick. And 2 Warriors Storm's Path back then made a 10% debuff on the boss.
I forgot about that.
100% of the fucking time. So I mean, it was just
that is fucking insanity.
Flat, no damage.
I really forgot that was even a thing. That was I think
in of itself. And Warrior had the only slashing debuff besides Ninja in the game. So I mean, it was just disgusting. And the fact that the triple fell cleave thing that it had was just Warrior in Heaven's Ward was a lot more overpowered than it is in Storm's Blood. Don't get me wrong, Warrior in Storm's Blood is piss easy, mind-numbingly easy
and pretty much top.
The results are amazing for the amount of effort you put in. But in Heaven's Ward, like if you were a good warrior, it was night and day difference. You were out DPSing DPS classes on Warrior in Heaven's Ward. I think the only DPS you couldn't out DPS was a machinist at the end of the expansion because they buffed machinist to hell and back because the class was just ass.
But I mean, just to stick with it, I just think that adding multiple classes, especially because they already planned 3, and even if you disregard Blue Mage, it's 3 unknown classes we don't know anything about. I guarantee you, at least one of them is going to be a tank, and maybe at least one of them will be a healer because they feel like it's been too long since they added any. And I mean, they're not wrong, but at the same time, it's just the balance now is decent. It's not perfect. They didn't really achieve totally what they set out to do.
No, the healers are
healers are good. Yeah, that's the one example I would bring up is healers are good. Melee might be in a decent spot as well, and casters are kind of okay. But ranged physical still have the debuff thing, which they're changing. I mean, that's what I like about Shadowbringers.
Ranged physical is still just play Bard.
It's Bard pretty. It's like 9-to-1 Bard. It's pretty disgusting. But they are changing the piercing and slashing debuff downs. They did say that they already know what they're going to do with it.
No, they didn't rid of them because they can't balance them.
They didn't say that. They said they're going to change it.
No, in the interview they were like we're just going to get rid of them. I forgot what it's on Reddit.
Yeah, that's the Yoshi P one that I read. They already decided the direction they want to take with it.
Yeah, by getting rid of it.
I mean, you might be 100% right. I'm just saying what they said, okay? Because when they don't get rid of them,
they're getting rid of
when you want to put money on this.
See, the thing is, they're going to continually make the game more watered down in the fact that they don't want people managing buffs, debuffs. The second they get rid of Trick Attack, right, which they probably might, because it's so goddamn useful.
I don't know about that because it's kind of iconic for the class. They might make it. They might neuter.
I remember what was iconic for the class back, and they took that away. Dark Knight. But remember what was it called? Soul Edge or some shit. The dot that it had. But that's besides. They just took that shit away. They were like, no, fuck you. You're not having any of that. But
it's not even a matter of if they get rid of Trick, if Ninja will be good or not. Still, it's just a matter of that they remove complexity from classes and uniqueness.
The way rating works is you want to time it. You want to time your buffs with the rest of the party's buffs, and that creates a sort of interplay, right? The same reason why you want slashing and piercing debuffs, so that there's interplay between the other jobs. If you take the slashing and piercing debuffs away, there's no longer an interplay. Just bring in whatever you want, right? Well, that's fine and all, but then eventually that makes those class choices meaningless, and the classes that do have an effective, buff such as, Ninja's Trick Attack or the Bard's Refresh or Taxation, whatever, which one, mostly Refresh, those guys are immediate slot-ins now. So then eventually people are going to be like, oh, well, these guys have this. You guys took away slash and debuff because it was too hard to balance. It becomes a slippery slope of, well, we don't want to deal with the interplay of this anymore because we took that away. That worked out well, quote unquote. So we're going to take away interplay by taking away the really big game-making, buffs slash debuffs. They might buff the class to make it, to compensate for Trick Attack going away. Well, but they'll eventually take away all interplay from rating in general. A lot of rating comes down to lining up your buffs and debuffs with the rest of the group on top of doing mechanics. Now it'll just do mechanics. If they were to go on in that direction, I don't know if they are, but from everything I've seen so far, from what they've done to the majority of classes, every single class has gone down in complexity from Heaven's Ward,
except for Machinist, which is why.
Except for Machinist, which to be fair, isn't so much that it's complex; it's unforgiving. It's not a hard thing to wrap your mind around. It's pretty easy to do. The issue is that the server tick and the 10-second window that they get all their damage in is so goddamn unforgiving that you have to build around it, and it just makes the class really not worth the play.
People would rather just spam heavy shot. Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just easier to play Bard by a long shot.
When they say we're going to get rid of these things, well, they didn't technically say we're going to get rid of them, but they said we're going to change it, and on top of the fact that they're changing TP and MP to one singular.
No, they're just removing TP. They're not merging it. They did say that.
Even better. So you don't even have to worry about AoEing anymore. Just do whatever you want. So my point is they're slowly watering down each and every class to the point where it becomes
roughly the same with a few quirks of the class, which is not necessarily bad because it means that in theory no class should really fall super far behind. But it becomes one of those things where it's like, well,
yeah, you've now become a watered down version of what
tank number 4, because like if Warrior's thing is that one window of 10 seconds where they fit those 7 actions or whatever, and Paladins juggle their physical magic times with their off time, then Dark Knights is just that they have none. What is tank number 4 going to be? What is it going to bring to the table? How is it going to size up to the pretty much nicely?
Considering it's going to be Gunblade, I'll be surprised.
All in one.
I'll be surprised if it has a piercing debuff.
I mean, if it's a Gunblade tank, like if the tank is going to be the Gunblade,
if they're probably removing that,
then it's probably going to be a DPS tank hybrid.
You think Thancred's becoming a tank?
No, it's not Thancred.
There are no hybrids in this game.
There are no hybrids.
There's either DPS.
No, I'm just saying,
I know what you're saying.
It's going to be a Gunblade.
No, there are no hybrids game because this game is literally all DPS. You've got the blue DPS, you've got green DPS, and you've got DPS.
Yeah, no, Red Mage is not a healer hybrid. It can raise because they scaled its.
No, I just think that they might make the Gunblade.
You're expecting far too much. We're two expansions, and they've definitely never done anything.
I know, but at the same time, what else are they gonna add? Because it's already confirmed they're adding the Gunblade.
Yeah, no, it's Gunblade, but I don't think we know if it's a tank or not yet. I think that still remains to be seen. I mean, it would be cool to have Thancred become a tank because
I don't know. Then what's gonna be the tank? Are they just? Not
I don't know. It could be any fucking dude. They have infinite lore to pull
from. If they don't release the tank, because the job's already confirmed. It's going to be Dancer, Gunblade, and
I'd love to see Sauce in this.
Geomancer probably.
No, it wasn't Geomancer. It wasn't Geomancer. It was Dancer and Gunblade. Those are the 2 jobs that are confirmed.
I would 110%.
Well, I know Gunblade is confirmed because we saw the actual Gunblade.
I have seen nothing of Dancer at all, besides a bunch of people whining for Dancer. I want a physical healer.
Hold on, wasn't it in the Blue Fever leaks that he said?
He only detailed Blue Mage.
He only detailed Blue Mage, the Bunny People race, and supposedly another Lion Person race.
Oh, Christ.
And also it's going to be another cat race, but they're going to be more fair.
What? No. Not. Oh my God. I hate being a cat boy.
To the furry.
I hate being a cat boy. I just wanted the better healing stats, and look where that got me. Look where this shit got me. Literally 3 years down the line, I'm just, you in an ERP. We're losing Balmung.
No,
but for those...
what's his name? Blue Fever?
Yeah.
Dancer. He did leak Dancer. He said that it's... Yes.
Okay.
No, I was saying, to the fact that we are losing Balmung.
Gunblade was also leaked as well. Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
I just like this in general. He did leak both of people.
We are losing Balmung, though.
Yeah, we are losing.
Honestly,
Balmung.
it's not too much of a loss.
That fucking hurts.
Let's be real here.
Oh, well, yeah. Leaks / predictions, we have no idea on this point.
Okay, so I guess the dancer, but he did leak. He did say Gunblade was coming.
Okay, yeah. So, oh, Sergio, come on, read! Oh my god!
I read a comment that linked to this.
Sergio, buddy, at least you can read tooltips because a lot of people can't do that, and that kind of hurts. So yeah, I mean, they did kind of confirm Vieira. So, or well, who knows? They could call it fucking anything. Let's be fair.
Also, if they're adding Vieira, like
that's your strongest card. But to be fair, I mean, a job like Yoshi P said, he has the final say. For all you know, Blue Fever pissed him off enough. He's like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it, dude. I don't care. Something new. Who knows? We'll know. What's the next big announcement for this game? Live Letter or some shiz, like Live Letter Europe or whatever.
It's the next Fan Fest, and I think that's in February.
So yeah, we'll know in fucking February. Don't worry, I'm sure it'll be fucking Dancer. It'll be a melee healer where you have to be in range for heals. And
they're probably not going to announce.
It'll be the worst healer
job. They don't announce all the jobs at once. They announce them. They spread it apart. So you might actually be getting 2 jobs. It might just be. Well, it might be Blue Mage is a 4.0 job.
I feel like they put too much on their plate because we're also getting a level increase by 10 levels.
Yeah,
we're going to get more skills probably another.
No, they already said they're not adding any more.
They're not adding any more skills.
No, they are not.
Wait, how does that work though? If they're not adding more skills,
they're just going to rebalance. They're not adding more skills. They're just going to rebalance and merge skills that. Now this was in the fucking.
But that doesn't make that actually doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I will link it. I'll link it right now.
Like that doesn't make sense.
Well, no, 4.5 is just going to be.
I think that's a mistranslation. He meant we're not adding any more. I can see
he flat out says. He flat out says there will be more actions that are removed or merged with other actions. They don't want to add more actions under the context of they don't want to fill up the hotbars, which are already filled.
Okay, so that means get rid of old actions and add new ones.
Not necessarily. It means that shit's going to get merged or removed.
Yeah, the next Fan Fest is February 2nd.
Well, I mean, if they don't...
That's what they say. If you want to...
If they don't add anything... Hold up. If they don't add anything, we're going to have a BFA situation, in which case you're trying to progress your character and you feel like there is literally no character progression, and you're just chasing down an item level number.
Yeah,
and if that's the case, that is the worst possible outcome.
Because this game doesn't have a talent tree. It doesn't have specializations. It doesn't really have customizable traits. Like, you kind of just are what you fucking are. Like, if I had the same gear as Sergio, we would be basically virtually identical Dragoons outside of our individual skill and our racial traits, which are basically at this point null and void. I mean, Sergio would be better because he's actually a Dragoon, but, like, ideally... I would have nearly the same degree of damage potential and health as he does. And that's pretty much it. Which is what I mean. I think that they are adding... They're progressing too quickly along a flight path that I really don't think that they can keep up with. They're adding too many classes, I feel. They haven't fully figured out how to balance everything in conjunction with one another. And... I mean, like, it's nice to see them try new things, and that's exciting, like removing TP. And just in general trying to simplify gauges and hotbars, because to be fair, a lot of that.
TP, by the way, doesn't mean that TP is going away. It just means it's going to be renamed something else. They already came. He said that.
Well, yeah, each class is going to have their own whatever that they use it for. So, like for instance, like warriors might still use MP for shit. It's just going to be scaled. Their MP is going to be scaled.
We're going to use rage.
Yeah, I mean, sure, I'm okay with it. I mean, that's what inner release is, right? You just fucking go beast mode. 5 fell cleaves and an upheaval, and onslaughted there for good luck, and that's your damage. That's your big fucking window. But they're gonna revamp roll actions, which means that shit like Crutch probably just gonna fucking disappear. Tactician and Invigorate are getting removed, which means that Goad and Spire are also probably getting removed, since TP is pretty much going to be non-existent. So, I mean, take your pick. I think that they're doing a lot of stuff. They're even adding Mahjong. I mean, how could you hate that? Right? You ever wanted to play Mahjong in a MMO?
Huh. I don't need Moon Rune chess.
I mean...
a goddamn video game.
I like that. I think what we should do is before they finally split the worlds, We need to visit Balmung a couple times. Even if it's just like a few weeks of fucking around, I want to visit Balmung. Because then that's going to be it, dude. They're going to drift away and we're never going to see them again. I mean, I like that they're adding more data centers, but my problem with data centers still kind of remains in that they're not separated by location. They all are in California. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, well, what does it matter, right?
Yeah, they also need to do that for 5.0. They actually need to split
They need to split it so we have an East Coast and a West Coast.
If they're going to have tick-based mechanics, they need to split the goddamn servers.
Yeah, I cannot tell you how many times people have died to correctly done tether breaking because they just happen. Like, I could not see, like, a bunch of Americans playing with one European dude on an American server with that. I feel like you would just be fucked. You would.
And even if they don't want to split the servers, have it in an actual center, like centralized location for the entire United States. Put it in Chicago or Dallas. I don't care. Put it in the middle so that way everyone has an equal opportunity, and when they balance the content, they can keep that in mind where everyone has.
Don't balance. Hold up. We know this by now. They do not listen to anyone.
They can whatever when they balance the ping combos. I don't care how they do it. They just fix it.
Again, this has been proven time and time again. They only listen to their Japanese people.
It literally doesn't work because everyone's at the same ping. Then they will have to balance it. Because if the mechanic doesn't work because everyone is at the same ping and that ping is just too high.
Their solution was to make a delay long enough so that even the worst ping would work, and even then that doesn't work all the time.
I mean,
that was their solution. That's why there's
they do a lot of bandage.
Like, what's it called? Slide casting is an actual thing, or when an AOE actually shows up on your screen, but the cast part is done, you can actually go in because there's such a significant ping delay before things actually register.
Yeah, that might change the game a little too much, actually, when you think about it, because a lot of people depend on slide casting to actually make their shit work.
So
Nah, that's that, yeah.
What?
The issue is a lot more. the problem with Final Fantasy is on a structural level where they coded the game in 1.0. They used that same code to redo it for 2.0 Realm Reborn, and everybody who worked on 2.0 got then laid off because of the disaster of 1.0. So the original people who worked on the code are no longer there. So now they're trying to just do their best with whatever spaghetti code they have and not try to break the game, which they do on a goddamn, I think, monthly basis now, where they just don't know what they're doing. They don't have enough people.
At least from what they say. Data center go down like every other week is hilarious.
That is actually hilarious. I'm sorry.
Like, legitimately,
I can't help but laugh.
I don't know, like...
if you live in Europe, don't play the game.
If I was a European player, I'd be like, give me my money back.
No, fuck you. Fuck you.
To be fair, I think they give them like a day or two of more.
Wow, dude, a day for the server.
Well, whatever long the servers are down, they refund.
On a serious note, do you think that the Bard perform action will cause this game to get banned under Article 13?
Yeah.
Probably.
You should probably push that forward. I want to see how quickly shit starts to happen. That would be pretty fucking hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
Now you have the European edition, the Japanese American edition.
The European edition just has no fucking perform.
No tech box at all. Because people can sing in the chat box, dude. Lyrics are copyrighted, dude.
Uh-oh. God, what a shit show. What an actual crapshoot down Turd Mountain. Holy shit. But, I mean, I still have a positive outlook on this game. I mean, it gives me lots of fun. I have a lot of fun doing a lot of different things. I mean, there's good here. And there's a lot of potential.
There's potential there, but the issue is that they squandered it. I honestly think Yoshi P should move on to a different game.
No, this is his
I don't.
He's never
enough.
Yoshi P has, he's now an executive in Square Enix.
Yeah, he's not leaving.
So if he does leave, he's just not making games anymore. He's just going.
That's
he's
fine.
executive.
I don't care what he does. I need someone else to bring life into this game.
I think having him as producer and director is an issue because that means everything goes through him.
Well, yeah, he said it. He has the final say on anything that does or does not.
No, but even the ideas for the game, because the producer also has to come up with the ideas.
I know. Everything that goes in this game, he gives the thumbs up or the thumbs down.
He gave the thumbs up for Diadem. He gave the thumbs up for Words of Vermilion and Pagos.
He's also the guy who comes up with the content. He's the producer of the game. He's the guy. He's the ideas guy.
Well, I mean, he lets other people figure things out. Like he said that. Like he had a younger team work on the new Primal. But I think the one thing that he specifically...
the younger team was...
No, as in he gives a directive and everyone else is there to execute.
Well, he told them not to have a long-ass transformation sequence for this new Primal because people clearly don't like the Byaku and Tsukuyomi shit. So they didn't.
It's fun the first time.
Well, yeah, it's fun the first time, but when you're 99 farming it, it's not fun to do
I don't want to do DDR. Like, I did it once, okay?
I mean, DDR is tolerable because it's not as long. Like, Tsukuyomi's phase is just fucking annoying. It's just like, oh, cool, I get to, whine in the center while a bunch of people try to hit you, and then the suffering gauge fills up, which is hilarious, and I really appreciate that. And Byaku's is just, I can't play those fights anymore. They're not fun. They're not fun to farm, right? Because it's like, it just takes too long if you wipe. It's like, it needs to be like a 30-second boom, 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 he's a big snake now, whatever fight, I don't care. Probably steal it from Naruto anyway, that'd be pretty cool. But, I mean, I like the stuff in this game. I think that they are getting to their potential, but a lot of the shit that they hyped up for Stormblood just didn't happen.
I don't know about all that.
It didn't happen.
Stormblood was...
Well, yeah, they hyped up Eureka, and what happened with Eureka? Like, nothing. Like,
Stormblood as an expansion was just a long eye roll. That was the entire experience. Because not only did they not take the Pagos criticism, like, well... They straight up just said you're not playing it right. Remember, they were like, you're not supposed to be doing Pagos trains.
Yeah, no trains, and they made it a legit thing.
And then
like,
they saw
really people
bad,
were doing
and
it
then they undid that change because, they're dumb. So, I don't know, man.
You didn't have fun in Eureka sitting around while shit spawned.
I played that game. I played that area for a day. I was like, this is a waste of my time. And shortly after, I unsubbed to play other games.
The best part about Eureka is that Anemos basically became one massive Fate Train mobile. And it was cool. Like, it was fun. Whatever, fine. If they wanted to fuck up Anemos, I'm fine with it, right? Just get the concept off the paper onto the game. That you could have 144 people all play shitty Monster Hunter. Fine. But then everything else after that and nerfing the Fate Train, I was really turned off. I'm not going to lie. It's what should have been a simple ordeal. Just, it's not fun to even sit through. Like, at least with Anemos, it's like, I
remember there was just a bunch of AFK people waiting for the named monsters to show up, and then they'd actually do something. Otherwise, Eureka was literally Netflix and chill Final Fantasy edition, where people would ERP in Eureka.
Oh, I played other games. I'm not gonna lie, I zoned out after a point. Like, sometimes I'll help spawn a monster. I try to help out half the time I don't do anything. But let's be fair here. It's fucking waiting around for these people to spawn. Because sometimes you've killed enough monsters, there's just nothing else up to kill, and you just have to wait for the monster to spawn. So it's like, okay, well now we just sit here for 20 minutes while not killing anything. Because that's good, apparently. I guess, somehow.
I really do think they need to stop with the gimmick side pieces and just focus on fleshing out.
I mean, the story was pretty decent.
Yeah, honestly.
No.
The story was, I said, decent. Heaven's Ward is good. Yeah,
linked.
I said it was
Alamigo
decent.
was literally
an
just
afterthought. I know. It was an afterthought.
The only good part about the story was when you get to the steps till when you free Doma. That is it. That is the meat there. Everything else is just an appetizer, and is honestly pretty lame.
I'll sidestep for one thing. Cash from Abania, because I like all the Final Fantasy VI references. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. I mean, yeah, but Alamigo was clearly an afterthought in the story, and to be fair, most of the post-Stormblood 4.1 to 4.5 story, at least from what we can tell, is basically unauthored, besides, hey, let's go treasure hunting for some fucking coins that you'll get none of, because Alphanod will literally say you're not getting paid, which is probably pretty fucked up of him to say. But, I mean, 4.2 was in Doma, 4.3 was in Doma, 4.4 was in Doma, with a little bit of Alamigo at the end. And, I mean, maybe we might have a little bit of Alamigo.
Do you know why the steps in Doma were the best part of Stormblood?
Because they played, like, WoW areas?
No, because the person from Heaven's Ward wrote the storyline from steps.
It's a secret Heaven's Ward jerk-off.
No. Listen, Heaven's Ward story
it was a girl, right?
Yeah, it was a woman.
Yeah.
The Heaven's Ward story from the first goddamn quest all the way to the end was amazing. You're framed. You have nowhere to go. You find friends. You figure out who framed you. You go on a journey with
JoJo
people literally JoJo Part 3.
Part 3, yeah.
Shit was great. And then at the end, you find out there's like this weird church conspiracy with the dragon eyes. You kill Power Pope. It was amazing. What do you got in Storm's Blood? You've got, oh no, the sand people need our help. Oh shit, big bad guy with big bad weeaboo.
With a revolver sheath for his swords, dude. Oh, I don't like this sword today. I'll use this one.
Kicks your ass. We need the weebs' help to help us, liberate sand people.
Don't want to help us out because they don't want to get involved.
And then you go to weeb people land, and it gets so much better. The entire story just picks up from there.
Because it's a different tonal shift.
You get to like gain the trust of these warrior people folk. You got 2 ballin' ass characters that in the end of their fight help you out. You liberate the castle, and then you go back to Sandland. And and the only defining moment of Sandland was Estinian going, this looks like it needs to blow up.
Let me have a cameo for no reason. God, what a fucking madman. I love Estinian.
And that's it. That's just literally the highlight.
Out this entire patch, like every patch has been, by the way, what's his name? From Galvis? He's not dead, guys. Xenos, guys, he's not dead. He's coming back.
Right.
I mean, okay. And then for the last patch, you're giving the reveal, oh, wait. An Assy is in control. An Assy is in control of
even the main villain was lame too. At least Power Pope had something to him. This dude was like, I'm big bad and I'm crazy. He was Kenpachi done wrong.
Are you talking about Xenos, or are you talking about
Xenos?
Xenos.
Xenos was an interesting villain because he wasn't really.
I don't think he was.
I also don't believe he's a villain. I believe
he's not Power Pope, but yeah.
Because I believe he's going to become a good guy the same way as what is his name?
Oh yeah, by the way, they wrote Midgar Summer out. Forgot about that part. So no more Midgar Summer popping in. They're like, yeah, we're done with this Deus Ex plotline. Fuck that. For no reason.
Yeah, no, I believe that they're gonna write him as a good guy, same as Von Belzar, and that the big bad is actually the Ascian, which they just were like, yeah, I've been here.
Yeah, we need an Ascian to do something wrong.
No hinting for him. No, they didn't hint him. He just came out of nowhere and was like, yo, hey, what's up, guys?
You want to know what the real problem is? They had the big plot twist for Alamigo happen at the beginning with Ilberd, and then at the end with the Shinryu fight. There wasn't any meat in the middle for Alamigo, which is why I kind of say it became an afterthought once they went to Othard. Because it's kind of like, in Heaven's Ward, it's all in the fucking Dravanian shit and Abalathian spine. And so it's kind of like, oh, it's cool, there's all this shit going on. There's Ascian tech, or not Ascian, Allegan tech involved, and the Pope and
it just felt like an add-on to Thanalan.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
I mean, that's kind of what it was built up as. Which is weird, because does Alamigo just only border the Shroud, or does it also at least partially border Thanalan? Because it is kind of similar to Thanalan.
No, Thanalan is more inside Eorzea. The reason why it's called Little Alamigo is because they just
the refugees moved. No, but I'm specifically, does it border
It literally borders the Shroud. It has nothing to do with Thanalan. So Thanalan is more inland.
It only borders East Shroud, yeah. So it just is.
When you finally get to Weebland, the story is just a breath of fresh air. Because honestly, up until after fading, Ralbound Extreme and then Papa Limo Savage, I was just done.
Oh yeah, Papa Limo's dead. That's another thing.
Pippin. It was Pippin.
Savage, I also can't.
Yeah, him.
I can't wait for them to reveal that he comes back during Shadowbringers, because we're gonna go to an alternate reality in which nobody dies.
No, help.
And we're gonna get back Minfilia. We're gonna get back.
No more alternate reality bullshit. No, please.
That's literally what Shadowbringers
They did that in Warcraft, and that was the worst.
No, they already said it. We're going to another shard. A shard in which we literally did not become who we were in our original shard.
Oh my god.
We became too strong. That's the story.
How did we become too strong? Like,
by getting rid of every bad thing in our world, we became
That's why we become the Warrior of Darkness, to fight our version of the Warrior of Light, who's super duper strong. That's cool. It's a decent setup.
It has a setup, but is the payoff
That's a decent setup,
be good?
But
because Alamigo had a good setup.
Find out. I have full faith in Heaven's Ward's writing.
In this, by the way, the final primal for Shadowbringer, or the final fight, we're gonna fight ourselves.
Probably. We already did that. That's 012. You fight literally the Adam and Eve, dude. The base incarnation of the. I know.
Ourselves, and that is a.
That's gonna be a really dumb fight. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, and the Heaven's Ward writer wrote all the quest lines.
Wrote all the what quest line?
Dark Knight.
Oh well, yeah, no shit. It was amazing. It's the only quest line.
Yeah, that's my point. They tried and true tested writer here, who's gonna probably make a better story than oh shit, you get to go to Weebland and then we take you out of fun.
And then every class quest is like, hey, don't you want to fall in love? Like, no.
It's the dumbest shit.
Don't you love it? That's the warrior quest line.
Listen.
You get cool ass abilities, and it's all about falling in love. It's like, oh, don't you want to fell cleave someone so hard they just have to love you afterwards, or oh, don't you want to be a dragoon so much they love you?
Most of the stories are just shit posting.
It's just a shit post. Oh no, the Red Mage one is legit a shit post because it's just Game of Thrones references the whole time. Does a girl have a name? Like my Needle, Arya. I mean, it's funny, but only because it's completely like there's a meaning beyond. This is a good story. It's more like, hey, Game of Thrones is relevant, and in 10 years when it's not, this is not going to make any sense.
What the fuck is this shit?
It's not going to make any sense at all. It's like fucking, I don't know, Xenoblade referencing some shit from 30 years ago that nobody played that's still playing it. It's like, oh, cool, great. Nobody remembers this. Literally just a Wikipedia entry later. We'll clarify it. Sounds like a plan to me. I don't know, dude. Heaven's Ward, I just feel like this expansion was a stepping stone.
It was too good.
I think that's the problem.
For its own goddamn. Yeah. I don't know.
I wish Stormblood had come first, but I mean, clearly that didn't make sense in the context of the story, because they did build up to the Ishgard shit.
Yeah, honestly, the Ishgardians, compared to the Doma people and Alamigos, are much better allies. I don't even know why we fucking went there to help them out. For what purpose? They're not doing anything.
I mean,
wait, the Domans or the Hingashi?
The
Hingans are doing nothing. The Domans are helping. The Domans don't have much.
No, what's his name?
Yeah, they came to help
even
you.
Hold on a second. Even in the trailer, we see what's his name die for us. What's his name?
I'm talking about
who's the Musashi looking dude?
I'm talking about a country full of legitimate dragon slayers.
Not Gosetsu, the other dude, the main, the Doman leader. What's his name?
I'm talking about a country full of legitimate dragon slayers who
oh, you mean the Alamegan guy?
A dragon slaying war for a good like.
In the trailer.
I don't know how many years.
In the trailer for Shadowbringers, you see him fall.
Oh, I don't know. I missed it. To be fair, whatever. Thanks. Nice spoiler.
I mean, go watch the trailer, jackass.
No, but I mean, like, where are the other dragoons of fucking Ishgard? There's other dragoons that aren't
my point.
Dragoons. Like, what the fuck? Like, they provided like nothing.
No, not even just the knights in general. We are talking about legitimate dragon slayers here, versus a bunch of tribal weeaboos now, because that's the only army that Doma has, versus sand people, guerrilla warfare.
Actually, we're all the monks. Like, where is the major monk for?
Oh, they're all extinct. Actually, no, they're not. They're just all shitty now. They're not like the dude from the Fist of the Coral or whatever that place is, Temple of the Fist. Yeah, all of them are pretty. They're newbies. Like, actually, I think that is the monk plotline. Is you're making a new brotherhood of monks for 70. Spoiler, not really. It's kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. They make you do training.
That's my point, though.
They make you do a training segment with them.
Why did we even go there?
They make you do training with them, right? So they just make you do Arm of the Destroyer.
I know there's a reason why we went. No, there's a reason why we went to the place. We went there because we were effectively following the tracks of Von Belzar after everything happened. After the events of 1.0,
which nobody remembers.
Von Belzar, literally, where was he gonna go after that? He literally went to Alamigo and then made his way to Hingashi.
Escaped, period, by the way. That's an interesting plot line, right? Like, he's now this redeemed anti-hero because they completely abandoned him. That's pretty cool.
No, it's not that they abandoned him, it's that he went insane. And
I mean, sure. But,
then he realized, oh shit, I fucked up royally. But also, the, what do you call it? What do you call these dudes?
Garleans?
The Garleans. They're also pretty fucked up. They're having this fight.
Yeah, they're having a civil war almost.
Well, not just that. We're being controlled by the very thing that we set out to destroy. We don't like the Ascians. We don't want to be controlled by no magic monsters. Unga bunga. We're being controlled by
this
the
game
Magic
is not ending till we fight Zodiark, so don't worry. We got plenty of story. It'll be 9.0. They'll be like, fuck, we have like 50 classes. We don't even care to balance half of them. Fuck it. Just end it. Zodiark Extreme. Done. Penna Eva style letter ending on it. Congrats. You wake back up on the carriage that took you to Gridania in the first place. The end.
Oh, no, never mind. It wasn't Von Belsar. Von Belsar is the dude we beat in the beginning of Realm Reborn. I'm thinking of the dude who got possessed at the end of 1.0. I forget who that dude is.
Who, Nail?
Yes.
You mean the person in Ultimate Coil or whatever? Who's apparently now a woman or something? I don't know how that worked out. I didn't play 1.0, and in fact, most of 1.0 kind of seems like it would be a snore fest. And that's saying something by a Realm Arisen status, where the whole game becomes a snooze fucking fest. But I digress.
Are you still streaming?
Yeah, we are. We're kind of almost done. We're taking the piss. So how do you guys feel about Blue Mage?
I don't feel anything about Blue Mage.
Okay, Jesus. Well, what did Heidelin tell you when you first started this game? Hear, feel, and think. So it's your job to. What do you feel about Blue Mage?
Is that literally a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 reference, dude?
Oh my god, I hate you. What's your serious opinion on Arson? Do you think that single player
I seriously don't care.
I don't blame him. I also don't care. I am completely apathetic to the job because I think it is a waste.
That's my serious opinion. Who gives a shit? It's just going to be there for, I guess, whoever wants to enjoy it. Definitely not for me.
Whoever likes it, I'm glad for you, but you literally put everyone else out of a job.
Yeah, I know, but Blue Mage hardcore fanboys can go play it, I suppose. But I mean, I really don't understand its purpose. It's a solo job for people who don't want to go into DPS queues. Fair, but you've now completely secluded them from the duty finder, so they can't even attempt to get DPS queues. So I don't like. What is it supposed to serve? Like, what are we supposed to do?
The original purpose of learning.
Job because it's not getting any better. So have fun with it at launch.
Yeah, I want to really quickly hammer that home. They specifically said that they have no plans to ever even imply that this job will be balanced ever with the other jobs. They don't even want to give it similar anything to any other jobs because they don't want to even give people the false ideology that one day it will be. They were very serious that this job will never, ever, ever be balanced alongside its compatriots, which is...
So I don't...
because
I don't know why it's there.
Yeah, no, a lot of people say that. I could tell you what they say. Now, how you interpret it is completely up to you. They wanted to keep it true.
Put in a job because a lot of people are complaining about it and want to be a P. But if you're not going to cater towards those people, then why even have it?
It's like putting in a Rainbow Six.
They're catering to the people, but they're catering to the wrong type of people. They're catering to the people who want a copy-paste.
How many people are going to have... How many people are going to realistically...
No one.
I mean, people will play it because it's new.
Part of the reason why they are not getting any more resources
but
than what they have.
my biggest point...
At a certain point, people will just stop.
Yeah, that's my biggest point, is like, in a year, in 2 years, how many people... especially, like, because, and that's the reason I brought up the Diadem and the EG Glamours, is because it's literally been 2 years since they introduced EG Glamours. It's been over 2 years, over 3 years since the Diadem. And it has, I think Diadem got one update, EG Glamours got no other updates besides.
And that was the hottest shit during the fan.
And that was the whole point, is that people
were like, yo, guys.
Carbuncles now, and then Ramuh and Sephiroth later, and that just flat out never happened.
And I'm pretty sure Ramuh and Sephiroth are, like, the models.
They're in the game. Yeah, the models are in the game, because it's literally just the small summons during the fight. Like, but it's not called, like, the ads from the fight, like, whatever they're called, I don't remember. It's legit called, I think, Ramuh and Sephiroth EG in the files, which is why people data mined it and found it, and they're pissed that it's never been implemented. But, I mean, like, that's the same thing I said about Eureka and the Relic. It's like, it's cool that it's a part of it now, but all you've done is create more work for yourself if you want this shit to be accessible, i.e. done later, which everything in this game is intended to be. It's like, people will do it now. In a year, when there's other shit to do, how many people are going to do it? In 2 years...
I'm waiting for 6.0 to come out, and Blue Mage
is dead.
It just stays at 70. That's it. It doesn't get it literally just stays there. No one, nothing else is going to be done to the class.
Balanced or revamped, and there's no point in freaking, like,
it's honestly a Rainbow Six Siege operator that can only play Terrorist Hunt and can't do matchmaking.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that will never get
That's literally what it is.
That will
never get Overwatch, who can only be played in quick play.
It's just dumb.
It's like,
no,
because like let's take for example any other class. Any other class you could play anything in this game. Period. The end. How meta it is, how good it is, irrelevant. Point is, you could play it. You could do the Zodiac weapons. I've done actually 3 in the last 3 months, right? So like you could do those today. Those were added way the fuck back in 2014, and it's all pretty relatively decent. You might not want to do it, but it's possible, feasible. If enough time and money, you could do it. The problem is that if the progression is only tied to Eureka, and in the future there's no reason to do Eureka, it's gonna, I mean, I guess you'll find 140 people maybe. Eureka only really works when you have that many people. It doesn't really work, you know, as the higher the monsters go, the more people you need to kill it. I mean, that's just to, you know, to not die. You need multiple parties. That's
as
just
I said, dude,
how
the
it
only
works.
reason Blue Mage exists is because they fucked up on Eureka, and they need some ability for a class to go back and redo the content.
But that's just putting a Band-Aid on a stump.
I know, because
it doesn't fix
Eureka should have never been released.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's...
No, I'm being honest. Eureka was the biggest mistake they've ever made in a long time. Because I cannot see them further developing this thing for 5.0, and even if they did, all the 4.0 zones are worthless.
Yeah, unless they give a reason or give a big bonus or make it quick to do. Why would you ever want to do it?
Because they're fates. They're difficult
fates.
Not just
it's literally just fates, yeah.
There's some fates you can solo, but these are like Odin level fates.
Yeah,
you cannot solo these fates.
You need people to almost die at some points to take shit for the team.
The only way it's going to work is if you have some type of cheese where it's like, oh, I'm fighting the fate boss, you die.
Level 5 death. Wow, that's great, man. Let me tell you. But I mean, like, couldn't they have implemented? I mean, well, obviously, you know, I'm not even gonna bother. I was gonna say, like, they have performed for Bard, right? Couldn't this whole Blue Carnival thing also just be like an enhanced version of that? Like, couldn't, like I said this, like, why not give every job like some enhanced version of something? At least every DPS, so that way because the average person on this game, they play DPS. I'm not gonna pretend that they don't. But, like, you know, just give them something to have a little fun with. Like, I don't know. I like to look at stuff later. I mean, I don't even know if I want to play Blue Mage, because there's no point in having a glamour plate for it, because you're pretty much, I mean, well, you know what? Let the Blue Mage people knock themselves out, I guess. Whatever. They're going to add an entire class of weapon that's not even going to be usable.
They're a class that isn't going to cater to most people, and the people that do the Gators Core...
They're going to filter out. Yeah.
They're gonna, like, if you're not balancing it, you're not changing it really for the classes, then
I mean, we'll
after
have to
you played initially, what are you gonna do?
Maybe people will just play it out of spite to say fuck you to people like us. I mean, cool, more power to you. But every time I've seen something like this done, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I do agree with Sergio that they probably just pulled Blue Mage out their ass so that Pagos has some sort of, like, replayability, because then you can just go to Pagos that has Blue Mage and
level 5
level
death
up there
or whatever, yeah,
and try to do your relic and stuff there. It's honestly because they realize that after 4 point whatever that, you know, Anemos and Pagos are garbage,
and
that they want
on top of that
to inject you know, player base into it. Otherwise the relic is now completely unobtainable. Yeah, so I mean, they'll try to put Blue Mage as a single player like job just to like put the Band-Aid on Pagos, and what a horrible decision it was to like go forward with this, so that it can still be, you know, somewhat playable for the people who do want to do their relics for other classes.
What do you think are the odds that this will be a reversible balancing decision? You think that this is just a temporary thing that they're saying that they're not going to balance? Because
they've done a lot of things before.
When you think about it, like they're making a class where all these models exist only for this single player bullshit. And I mean, whatever. Like, single player is cool and all. Don't get me wrong. I play a lot of them. But this is an MMO, right? Like, at the end of the day, we all know what the meat of this game is. You could say ERP, you could say whatever, glamoring, but we all know that it's meant to be dungeons and raids and trials and savage and ultimate and whatever. They're making all this effort to make custom glamour, artifact gear, and weapons and skills and stuff. I'm going to disagree, though. I think they're just going to leave this shit dead at 50 or at 70. I'm going to disagree. I don't think they're going to... I think they've intensely...
See, here's the thing. I would have said they would have just let it die, but they didn't let Eureka die. And that's why it's such a big fucking failure. See, with Diadem, it was a huge, colossal fuck-up, right?
But they didn't
garbage.
pour anything else into
You could
it.
get best in slot randomly just by playing that goddamn area. But they didn't waste any more time other than like another patch to put like face level stuff on it. But with Eureka, they've added whole new areas. You know, they've put significant amount of developer time into this. Same thing with what's it called?
Heaven?
No. Lords of Vermilion.
Oh yeah, that also is completely
complete in the gutter, and they didn't waste any more time with it.
Yeah, they I think what was that 3.2 or 3.3?
The issue with this is that they've doubled down on Eureka and have told all of us that we don't know anything, and it comes down to I think the Japanese players liking grindy shit more, and the rest of us not. But then I realized that the Japanese players don't like this either. So then they, as a company, have just decided to say straight up, just be like, no, you're wrong. You know, this is what we envision. This is how we're gonna. I guess fair enough for sticking to your guns, but shit, you have made a colossal fuck up and have now like tanked an entire class to try to band-aid your fuck up that still isn't fixed and won't be fixed.
So you think in like 2 years they'll make Blue Mage a decent?
Yeah, probably
normal.
2 years.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, it's anyone's guess. In 2 years, this Square Enix could be out of fucking business. Who knows? But I don't think they will. I think they're gonna stick with this one. They'll leave it at 70, and then when people bitch enough, they'll up the level count. Because they already said it's not hitting 80 anytime during 5.0. It's very hard for them to imagine it hitting 80 at 5.0. So that means that at best, you're only going to be killing Final Omega with it, maybe, in whatever broken party comp that Blue Mage allows, which who the fuck knows. I just think it's a lot of extra work to design an entire different cast system, and when they could have just made it a fucking Black Mage with more mobility or some shit, which I get is kind of Summoner, but I mean, even if it's not in the meta and it's kind of awfully balanced, at least it's in the balance, you know what I mean? Like, even, like, if you want to play Dark Knight, the only thing that's really fucking with you is the fact that you just have to get really good at the class and pray your healers are good. Or get good healers. I mean, that's also possible. And, I mean, like, I almost cleared Final Omega today on my second party with Dark Knight, so it's definitely possible if people are competent and don't die to Hello World 2 like 8 times in a row. But, yeah, I mean, it's there. Like, you could play Machinist, you just have to be good at it. I mean, that's just the caveat is you have to be good at what you do. Which is true of anything in this game, but obviously if you're a warrior, you could fuck around and get away with more than a Dark Knight. You know what I mean? Like, you're not as bound to it. But I don't think that that's going to happen. That's just my 2 cents. I think they're going to up it as necessary. Maybe they'll consider it, but I don't think so. Because they're pretty hell-bent on saying that that's never happening.
It's dead on arrival.
I give it 3 months of hype. I'm being very lenient. I'm giving it 3 months of everyone getting their jollies off. Once...
I don't see how anybody can... Like, it doesn't even serve that fun of... Like, it's just a short time amount of fun.
Well, because they have the Mass Carnival, and they're going to update that every time they increase the level. So, I mean, after 5.0, it's anyone's guess, because they already said it's only going to hit up to 70. Or at least it would be difficult to see it hitting 80. So, I could see Mass Carnival shit getting added, which is a whole new type of content, which is cool, but they always complain about resources, not enough time, not enough money, not enough people to do stuff. So they took on a whole new responsibility as opposed to just maybe getting better at balancing. I think that's kind of my thing. It's like, isn't that kind of 2 contradictory statements? Maybe.
I don't know, man. All I know is that nobody's going to play the damn thing. It serves no purpose. The purpose is trying to serve. Once again, serves no purpose. I don't know. I guess it's good for glamour, I guess. If you want like a stick to wave around.
Yeah, they confirmed the weapon is a cane. So we could have had Joker in Final Fantasy because they have the mask. They have the fucking mask.
I actually think it's time to wrap
it up.
Yeah,
we're ending. Dude, would you, Sergio, are you allergic to fun? Are you a Blue Mage?
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, any
Yoshi
concluding thoughts, my friends?
I've already made my concluding thoughts. You asked this before. I have no thoughts on the non-existent class that we're getting?
The non-existent, it'll exist. It'll have a cheap soulstone. Did you read the description for the soulstone?
Listen, it's not showing up. You're not going to see anyone in Limsa as a blue mage.
Oh, come on! Don't go that far. You want to bet money, Arslan?
Yeah.
Actually,
All right. 3 months time, you're not seeing a single fucking blue
I will
mage.
literally show up in my best tux. I will have my friends show up. Yeah, dude, I don't know.
$35.
No, we're not doing money matches. Fuck that.
$55.
You're gonna lose so bad, dude. You're gonna
lose so much money because I could just show up, bro. I'll buy a sub for what, 20, 15?
Yeah, obviously you guys can't interfere. It has to be.
Oh, don't worry. Someone who's totally not my friend will totally not show up in Limsa and parade around in front of me. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun.
There are people who show up.
Mr. Surgster 1.
Well, this was a fun one.
Dragoon sucks. Mr.
A little bit.
Alright, damn. Mr. Instant Retreat.
It was great as always, guys. Keep it hanging. See you.
And the Spook Master himself, Mr. Nighthawk.
I'm keeping this name.
I know you are, and I hate it. And that's a wrap. I'm going to piss off somewhere.